commodities as a way of building up the nation's exports trade and creating jobs at the grassroots level. The director, Center for China Studies, Charles Onunaidu, has said the Nigerians could exploit the huge economic opportunities in $22 trillion Chinese market if the federal government implements certain policies and infrastructural development programs in the country. Onunaidu stated that the Belt and Road Framework of international cooperation between Nigeria and China offered very tangibly critical requirements Nigeria needs to optimize its economy of scale by addressing the infrastructural deficit. Speaking at the 50th anniversary of Nigeria-China diplomatic relations in Abuja, the China experts recommended industrial and production capacity cooperation with the Asian economic giant. On the foreign scene, the international oil benchmark Brent crude has again risen to $61 per barrel. Brent crude had hit $60 per barrel on Monday for the first in more than 1 year. The recent rise in oil prices comes amid optimism for a vaccine-led economic recovery and a commitment by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies to restrain the supply of crude oil. OPEC and its Russia-led allies announced last week that there was high compliance among member states with agreements to limit supply to prop up prices. Brent has risen by more than 18% since December 31, 2020, when it closed at 51.22 per barrel. And that was the news update on Today 95.1 FM. Do not forget to take responsibility. Wash your hands frequently with soap under running water. Avoid touching your face and high contact surfaces to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Once again, good afternoon. Do stay tuned. Business Today comes up shortly. I am Wealth Wilson and thank you for listening.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Talk radio.
I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Do you know what? Put that down now. I go match and down. Oh yeah, give me that thing. Come on, give me the phone. Give me that thing. Oh yeah, shoot that police. Go.
Insecurity has become a common factor in our general language within the Nigerian space, no doubt. Not only has it become a threat, it has begun taking diverse dimension we cannot ignore. A solution we seek. A desire to stop the trend is imminent.
Wait up. 2 seconds. Oh my
God, hey Jesus. Straight bullet though, what kind of country is this? Hey boy, I just said to go and buy something, what kind of thing is straight bullet from where? I'm finished though.
Directly or indirectly, we all have lost people, friends, family or acquaintances as a result of insecurity. But is security only the job of the government? No, security is not one man's job alone. Every individual in the society has a role to play in order to achieve a secure society. We urge citizens and indigents to adhere and respect the laws of the state, report irregular activities to the authorities, and we implore security agencies to carry out their duties as stipulated by the Constitution and not infringe on the rights of citizens. If we work together, we can build the Nigeria of our dreams. This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM.
Fire incidents have become a regular occurrence, with thousands of lives and millions of properties lost every year in this country. Hardly a day passes without news of a fire outbreak in some part of the country, causing fear and panic among the people. Needless to say, we need to remind ourselves of the possibility of an outbreak at any time. This is what is likely to prevent us from being taken by surprise. Always put off appliances when not in use. Do not overload electrical sockets. Fuel your generator before, not when in use. Avoid fixing electrical faults personally when you apparently do not have the skill. Keep the candle on a candle stand.
It takes only a minute for a fire to get out of hand. In case of a fire outbreak, please call the fire service hotline 070 315-221-99. This message is brought to you by your premium talk radio station, Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Today is business. Today is a new trend for your businesses. We give you all the information you need to grow your business, new ideas and innovations that keep you earning more and staying relevant.
Every day, we engage in business, buying and selling, trading, and exchanging of services as individuals or as a country. Money goes round, it goes up and down. But have you ever wondered what business is all about? And have you ever wondered how you can stand out in your business?
Today FM has got you covered in this all-new program, Business Today, every Wednesday between the hours of 1 p.m. to 2 p.m.
Learn all you need from professionals on how the country runs its business affairs and how you can be an outstanding entrepreneur and grow your business.
Business Today, every Wednesday between the hours of 1 p.m. to 2 p.m.
On Today 95.1 FM. 95.1 FM.
Today is business. Today is a new trend for your businesses. We give you all the information you need to grow your business, new ideas and innovations that keep you earning more and staying relevant.
Every day, we engage in business, buying and selling, trading, and exchanging of services as individuals or as a country. Money goes round, it goes up and down. But have you ever wondered what business is all about? And have you ever wondered how you can stand out in your business?
Today FM has got you covered in this all-new program, Business Today, every Wednesday between the hours of 1 p.m. to 2 p.m.
Learn all you need from professionals on how the country runs its business affairs and how you can be an outstanding entrepreneur and grow your business.
Business Today, every Wednesday between the hours of 1 p.m. to 2 p.m.
On Today 95.1 FM. 95.1 FM.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Wednesday afternoon, 10 minutes gone past 1 o'clock, and you are welcome to Business Today. On this show, we get to talk about everything that has to do with the Nigerian business terrain, talk about finances, and talk about the economy. For those people who do not know, there's been an uproar, different reactions that met with the Central Bank of Nigeria's policy on cryptocurrency. And that's pretty much still getting a lot of people talking and pumped up about how the government should have at least reconsidered other alternatives into regulating that particular sphere to ensure that it doesn't affect the average Nigerian youth who is using this, unit of commerce as a source of income and livelihood. And you would want to, cite some of them when you hear them explain all of this. But then the Central Bank of Nigeria had their own reasons as to why they had to follow through with such directive. But then that's not what we're going to focus on, because we talked about that last week. This week, we're going to be looking at the issue that seems to be, very, very perturbing for every single one of us. We do understand that in Nigeria, we're facing a couple of things, a plethora of problems. But then one thing seems to be standing out, and it's very important we talk about it today on Business Today, which is the issue of farmers and herders and how it might likely cause famine in the country. So we're looking at it from the agricultural implications of the issues between farmers and herders in the country. My name is Wealth Wilson, and I won't be doing the show alone. I do have here with me Wisdom Obina. Good afternoon to you, Wisdom.
Good afternoon to you, Wealth, and good afternoon to you listening. It's a pleasure to be back on business
you
today.
look like you just woke up from napping or something.
Not exactly, but I've been a little bit too quiet. I'm sure that's why. And maybe not everywhere. So maybe you could just assume I just came in, but I've been here since
I should have stayed with him,
I don't
So
want
he
to talk
wouldn't
about.
be a
I
little
don't. I
bit
don't.
so
I don't want to
quiet.
talk about what you look like now, because every time I do it, it seems like I'm trying to probably sell you out there so someone can steal you. But it's great to be here. Well, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, and great to have you on the show
Yeah, and
once
I
again.
heard what you. I mean, the issue of the herdsmen and farmers. I mean, it's growing. We're now beginning to even see more around that particular story with the recent one now, the governor of Plateau State, Simon Lalong, saying, okay, I have hectares for ranching, and we have decided, and most of the herdsmen associations in different units of the country are interested in ranching. A big story, and of course, the big question of, is it actually going to work? And the president even saying arrest some people.
All right. Now, the Senate has, picked up this particular one. It's something that should bother every Nigerian. I mean, imagine a situation where there is this ethno-religious war between herders and farmers that would invariably amounts to famine in the country. Now, the increasing spate of insecurity may lead to an ethno-religious war and farming. That's coming from the Deputy Senate Leader, Ajayi Boroface, has said. Now, he is worried that the nation is entering a phase of governance trajectory characterized by unabated terrorism, insurgency, banditry, and kidnapping. Now, in a motion scheduled for debate on Tuesday, which apparently was deferred to the next legislative day, suggested ways to tackle insecurity. Now, the adjournment of the plenary was in honor of late House of Representative member Prestige Osei. Boniface said in the motion, if the present spate of insecurity across the nation is not curtailed, it will lead to food insecurity and famine, as many farmers can no longer access their farmlands. Now, on the flip side as well, it would also lead to loss of cattle as well, which is part of agriculture, livestock farming, which means that we're not just losing crop, we're not just losing crop produce, we're also losing livestock as well, because now it's going to be a conflict that doesn't allow both parties to carry out any of their agricultural duties. And what would that mean for Nigeria? We're looking at a situation where it's not even that bad. It's not to the point where it's not looking like a serious ethno-religious war, but then we're still seeing, little crop, produce in the country already having hiking prices. Onion at a point in time was almost gold, and then some people were talking about rice, other people talking about tomato, pepper, and some of these other small commodities that are supposed to be plentiful, especially with farmers who have commercialized this agricultural produce within their state or in their locality, and some of them not being able to go back to farms, and especially in I wouldn't call it war-torn, but insurgent prone areas, especially in the north, where you have Boko Haram sacking people from their farmlands and also from their communities. We noticed that farming activities there have been abandoned, and that would simply mean bad or spell doom for the Nigerian, agricultural economy.
Well, he would definitely be a big problem if that's why I feel everybody needs to sit on the round table, because farming food is very important. Talk about cooking a pot of soup or a pot of rice or something. The meat you eat is just a part of it. You can actually eat that or maybe take that food without the meat, even if I know we want protein in our food. All the sources of proteins, like even the maybe these legumes and cereals and what have you, like beans and the others, are planted. So it's not just about the animal most times. So yes, it's actually important that we don't do anything that would affect our farmers or reduce our farming capacity, all in the name of taking care of the animals. Now, reasons being that our farmers are a very important arm of the country. Look at the funds being generated, what is exported most of the time. I know dairy products come out of the animals. I know hair skins and all those other things come out of the animals, so outside the meat part of it. But ordinarily, the farmers are also, the animal keepers are also classified as farmers anyway. But in terms of those who just work with the ground directly and not just animals, they're also very important. You can't
I think
overstate.
both sides are important.
Both
They're
sides
agricultural
are
sector,
very,
whether
very
livelihood
important.
or crop
Exactly.
farming.
Even if I feel reducing the farmlands for rare agro farming, it's actually a bad idea for me. But I know that there are lands that are not even being used for anything. Travel to Sokoto.
and you see some arable lands that are empty. Most times, as a child, when I travel through those states, I used to imagine buildings in my head. But, but I think, yes, they can actually do that thing I was doing then. Situate structures in some of those lands. And those lands are growing things. It's not like some of them are just bare or maybe deserts now, clearly, even if there are some that are quite empty.
Until we have the government,
they need to actually find a way to work with that.
Until we have the government wants to utilize those, fallow land, whether state government or federal government, you must also want to consider the fact that while we're still getting there, we cannot allow for any kind of crisis between farmers and herders to ensue at this point in time, because it would further cause or spell havoc for this particular sector that we haven't fully harnessed yet in the country. So what do you think is the possible solution? Time and time we talk about, probably having herders have negotiations with state government as to where they would stay for a stipulated amount of time and how much they would pay, certain agreements that they would meet with, and then in due time either renew or leave. But then it looks like a lot of people are not embracing it. State governments are also not even embracing it. Some of them do not even know how they want to, position themselves in this particular issue when it comes to farmers and herders staying, especially in the south or east or even west. So what is the most feasible solution that we have on ground now so that we do not see a continuation of such issues?
I think the possible solution is what I would call mind your business.
Well, now, what is mind your business?
What that means is you own cattle. Be you an Igbo man, a northern, an Hausa man, or a Yoruba man, or even one of the middle groups, buy lands and create ranches. Not necessarily, it's not everything that the government will do for us now. When I hear government should create ranches in different places, and I'm asking myself, is the government going to do every single thing, even creating water buckets for you to bathe? They give you water, they give you the buckets, they give you the soap. So I think that's the only solution. You can't tell me to give my land because Mr. A's company wants to graze. I don't think it makes sense. You can't tell me to say, okay, as a state governor, I don't think it's smart. You can actually say, okay, this part of my state is designated for ranching. But you have to pay a token for us to probably, okay, for how many 6 months, 1 year, you're going to have your ranch here. Okay, this is how much you pay. Or maybe I'll build it and you pay to buy it. But the idea of, because I'm hearing that as the major idea, moving on from it is what I'm trying to do, of government just bringing out fundings, monies, and to build ranches. It doesn't make sense. Now, ranching in Nigeria is not a government thing. We're not even a communal or a socialist system. Now, it's not a government thing to say, okay, the profits made from animals are coming to the coffers of the government directly. Yes, you can talk about tax, you can talk about exportation and all those other stuff. But basically, these are businesses owned by individuals. I cannot give my land in River State, donate my land to them because they want to ranch in River State. It doesn't make sense. They have to pay for it. And I think that's what it is. The Cattle Breeders Association must sit on a round table. Yes, the governors can designate the best areas they can give out of their state for grazing. But the owners of that land, they must be compensated. You can buy it, you can rent it, whatever decision you want to take, fine. But as long as the government says this is the area that I'm giving you to in my state to probably do your grazing, then it's not for free.
All right.
Then you must probably buy. If we do that, let's say Mrs. Wealth owns, or Miss Wealth owns a ranch. She says, okay, I want my cattle. I think Bayelsa, it's a very nice place. Okay, you go to Bayelsa and you go to the designated area. And now
so
say,
just
okay,
have
who owns this
agreements
land?
between herders and government.
Exactly.
Okay.
Even if it's a token, you pay. Then use the land for some time. It's not your father's land, except you're buying it.
It's subject to renewal.
It's subject to renewal. I think that's the best solution. If you don't want to graze if you want to stay in your north, you stay there. You want to stay in the east, you stay there.
All right.
Don't forget, it's cattle rearing and grazing, or grazing of animals and all those things. It's not just a thing of the north and maybe cows. Goats also graze too. In our own, around these regions now where we know goats are actually a common thing, not like the cows. Cows most times here, yes, they are owned by people here, but we know cows is more of a northern thing. So it's not only that. So even if you want to grow your goats and all those other type of local farming, you pay for a space and utilize that space.
All right, let's quickly move on now because, today we're going to be starting a whole new, chapter on business today. We're going to be looking at all the strata of entrepreneurship. So we'll be looking at starting a trade, what you need to start a trade. We'll be getting, and good news, yes, we will be getting, interested persons. Now, here's the thing. Here's how we're going to do it. On the show, we're going to be promoting entrepreneurs, right? Now, while we're doing so, if we notice that you are a regular and you have a trade worth talking about, we could get you to come on here and talk about it, how it started, what you need to start up such trade. In case there's somebody who's listening who has, some sort of careless money somewhere around that wants to start up a business and doesn't know how and when to start up. So that's what we'll be doing. So after this whole headline review on business today, we will be talking about trading and starting up trade or businesses, okay? But then here's the thing. This is a very important thing I think we should talk about before we move on to the real issue on the show, which is the possibility of a fresh call for protest. They've already called for the protest, but then what that would mean, the economic implications of a supposed protest that is not being handled properly by the government to the economy of Nigeria. We saw what happened the last time. It wasn't a good start. It wasn't even a good, it wasn't a good look generally for the economic sector or the economy of the country. We did see a lot of things vandalized, destroyed. Lagos State's governor was talking about how much it would take for him to rebuild all the damages in Lagos State and some other states' governors as well. Now, imagine a situation where because of say the government's decision to allow for the LCC to take over the Lekki toll gate, and you decide that, that's wrong, that's inconsiderate, and they hit the streets again, and say it spreads across different states, maybe youths in other states who want to show solidarity with their counterparts in Lagos. What do you think that would mean for the economy of Nigeria? And also understanding that if the government does not act quickly or put things or mechanisms in place to ensure that, the issues of the last time do not repeat itself again, we might be seeing more damages done to the economy and states in the country. So how do you predict this, the economic outlook or implication of, let's say, the negligence? Imagine the government do not do anything to stop the coming protest, because they're saying that the protest is to hold on Saturday in Lagos. Now, a possibility of other states' youth who want to show solidarity with the ones in Lagos coming out as well and, hitting the streets, and then businesses have to, be put on hold, depending on how long it would take the government to either address their issue or look at their demands. And that would definitely affect the economy directly and indirectly.
Well, for sure. We saw what happened the last time. Not just because the businesses would be shut down or closed around those particular regions, but because if you're not also very careful with the protest, it could go out of hands. We saw cars being burnt. We saw businesses damaged in Lagos and some other parts of the country.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to see that repeat itself. Talk less of just closing down businesses in different regions of the country. So yes, I think it's something that needs to be taken seriously. We saw the damages of the last one, and I know the government, as smart as I think they are in terms of how to manage people and make sure they don't override their leadership. I think we are very smart at doing that as a country. So I think they should be able to come up with an idea of how to deal with this one. Now, the problem is that they want to open the Lekki toll gate. And these people are saying, no, you can't open this Lekki toll gate when we've not seen justice for the victims who are actually victims of the last protest, and of course the regular issues we were shouting about or talking about. So we've seen panels opened in different parts of the state, and as we speak, if you're a Nigerian, you followed the panel progress, you tend to believe that not too much would come out of it, if you allow me to paint it a little bit, because a case where you're seeing 10 people demanding for 100 million or 100 billion each, and you start asking yourself, a government that is looking at borrowing from dormant accounts, where do they pay you the 100 million from? You just want to believe that this might just be an action in futility, or maybe something that would just be taken with kid gloves and a slap on the wrist for whoever would be held will be found culpable for any of the accuses or any of the offenses. So I would wait to see how it goes, but ordinarily I do expect the government to deal with it. Like you mentioned, it affects the country. Lagos, for one, is Nigeria's business hub. It's Africa's business capital, basically, in terms of the number of businesses and industries that are situated in the place. Then it could also spread. The last protest started in Lagos, and before you know, it was down to the streets of Port Harcourt, down to the east, Anambra State, Abia State, down to the north, Plateau State, Kano State, and some of those other states. So I think it's something we need to take seriously. And make no mistake about it, if it starts again, I doubt if it starts again and it's just taken with any form of levity, I think it will be more than the first one. You will ask me why. Now, the reason being that the results of the first one have not actually been noticed. And it looks like the first protest ended too soon without a proper direction. So if you now say, okay, let us allow them do whatever they want, and they come back again, they might be more prepared this time. Reasons being that, like I said, the demands of the first time, they did not get anything out of those demands. And it plainly looks like the reasons why they came out.
We can't say they didn't get anything out of those demands because according to the government, they are still, their work's being put in place to ensure that a lot of the demands are being reached.
How much can we say?
You don't restructure the
they've
police
not gotten. I think that would be the word. They've not. Maybe it's still in the process. Things could still happen in the future. But what have we actually tangible thing that has been seen? You can say, okay, this result we are seeing in this part of the country is as a result of the protest. The fact that the protest got to the government, that's why we're seeing these results here. Well, I cannot pinpoint to any. Maybe in the next few months I will. I'm not saying it's not in the pipeline. Maybe it's still in the pipeline on its way. But as I speak here, I cannot remember anything concrete. Outside setting up panels, outside maybe disbanding the old structure of SAS, because I call it the old structure because we had a new set of people. It's not like the policemen who were well trained were probably just retired. They were just disbanded and everybody redirected to different units. Then we had SWAT, even if I'm struggling to wrap my head around what that means. But in all entirety, it's not something that should happen again. Because I think if they malhandle it this time, they will not be as lucky as they were the first time. And I know what I mean by lucky, in that we were able to stop it or quell the flame from going overboard and maybe getting to a level where people might just take laws into their hands. I think they should be very, very careful with this particular threat because it's something that could spread. That what the protest stood for the first time was against a bad system, be it the police force, whatever, be the NSAS and whatever. It was against a bad system. And most people in this country, or a good number of people in this country, are not happy with the way the country is. They feel the country should be better. I feel the country, let me not say, I feel this country should have been better than what it is now. The levels we are seeing in different sectors, the levels of challenges facing us, unemployment and some other issues, I feel we should have gone past some of these things, at least to a considerable level. So if you permit that kind of protest to happen again, then people in other states, it will not take any time and they will just borrow immediately, and start up their own. And don't forget the power of social media. Now, the fact that the Ugandan president shut down Facebook and Twitter for some time so that Bobby Wine's, according to him, he said there was external influence as a result of some of those social media. Now, you can't do that easily here in Nigeria, even if I know power is power, knowledge is knowledge. But you can't do that here easily, or you might not want to do that as a president, So the best thing to do is make sure that you don't allow it happen. And the way to not allow it happen is not by situating soldiers, like we did the last time.
It's by quickly reconciling whatever grievance is the problem now before the kickoff for the protest.
Very, very true, because the power of the spirit is very, very strong. Now, if it's a will, where there's always a will, I mean, the saying would always go, there will always be a way. So if you're fighting against the will of the people, you don't do that with guns and knives and things.
Today's news in 60. President Muhammadu Buhari has signed a new national cybersecurity policy and strategy of Nigeria, providing the broad framework for addressing cybersecurity. The president is to formally unveil the new document, building upon national cybersecurity policy and strategy of Nigeria. Ekiti State Government has launched coding, robotics and artificial intelligence education in public schools to prepare youths towards acquiring skills that will make them employable in the fourth industrial revolution. For IR, 12 schools from a mix of urban and underserved communities have been selected to participate in training on coding, robotics, artificial intelligence and machine learning. On the foreign scene, Microsoft Core has announced the first employee experience platform, Microsoft Viva, to bring tools for employee engagement, learning, well-being, and knowledge discovery directly into the flow of people's work. Viva is designed to help employees learn, grow, and thrive with new experiences that integrate with the productivity and collaboration capabilities in Microsoft 365 and Microsoft Teams. Today's news in 6.
Talk radio.
I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Today is business. Today is a new trend for your businesses. We give you all the information you need to grow your business, new ideas and innovations that keep you earning more and staying relevant.
Every day, we engage in business, buying and selling, trading, and exchanging of services as individuals or as a country. Money goes round, it goes up and down. But have you ever wondered what business is all about? And have you ever wondered how you can stand out in your business?
Today FM has got you covered in this all-new program, Business Today, every Wednesday between the hours of 1 p.m. to 2 p.m.
Learn all you need from professionals on how the country runs its business affairs and how you can be an outstanding entrepreneur and grow your business.
Business Today, every Wednesday between the hours of 1 p.m. to 2 p.m.
On Today, 95.1 FM. 95.1 FM.
Welcome back. Exactly 35 minutes gone past 1 o'clock, and you are welcome. As we said before, we open the phone line so that you can react to what we have put on the table for you today on the show. We're going to be talking about businesses, starting up a business, what you need to know, and how you should go about it. Because we're following this all new, well, I call it curriculum. What should I call it now?
All new improvement line.
Okay.
That'll be the first time.
All new improvement line, and we're looking at entrepreneurs and how to help them out as well. So starting up a business is one of the most important things that people need to know. A lot of people are out there who do not have jobs. A lot of people stand a chance of losing their jobs because of the whole issue around COVID-19, the pandemic, the economy not coming or bouncing back to what it used to be or even better than what it used to be. So it's pretty much a conundrum for some people. What can they do with themselves? How can they move on from where they are, from a state of some of them, by the way, who are employed, actually do not want to remain employed. They want to become self-employed. A lot of them do not want to work for anybody. And the question comes up, what can I do? How can I do it? What business is most viable here in this part of the world, in Rivers State, in Nigeria? What businesses can I put my money into and get something in return? So starting up a business, Wisdom, it is very important for one to take out, time to look at the feasibility and the area, the environment, study the environment before you put in your money into any kind of venture, trade venture, whatever it is. As an entrepreneur, you have to first of all understand the needs of your immediate environment. Now, from what I know, I do understand that you do not wake up in the morning and decide to start selling inverters, in a place where there is steady power supply. That would be a business anomaly. Right? Now, you have to, first of all, take out time to be able to understand your environment. What is the immediate need, or what are the immediate needs of people within that particular vicinity where you find yourself before you even start talking about getting the capital to start up. So why do you think that people ignore all of these things? Do you need to go to business school for you to be able to tell that as an entrepreneur, as a business person, you are just identifying a problem and giving a solution, or becoming a middleman that would bring in a solution to that particular problem in your vicinity or area?
Well, ordinarily, it looks like most people would need to actually go to business school, but it's not supposed to be so, because some of those things are what you might call common sense, and you definitely would not want to go into a business with ordinary common sense. But even to that common sense is not even a level some people want to actually pay attention to before they get into business. Now, if you wish to actually start up a business, definitely there are things you need to look out for. Now, you look at the line and industry you want to even delve into. What kind of industry is it? How does it actually work? How has it worked in that area where you are? Even a location is something that requires a proper time spent in actually finding out how this location works. Are there people who have tried this thing here before? Is it an innovational idea that would require a different base? So there are fine businesses that do come to mind at times, but your area and location would not even allow that kind of business to thrive. You either have to look for another place to do it, or you probably just decide to look for something else to do. But feasibility studies it's actually the first place to start.
The bedrock.
When you decide, okay, I want to go into a business. Now, there is something, one key lesson, I think I'll paraphrase them, because if I want to quote them, it will take me some time. I've heard across 3 lines, that's from 3 great businessmen, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and of course, even Oprah Winfrey. 3 of them said the same thing in different ways. Now, you actually want to start up a business, you have to actually wait for the idea to buy you the business. What that means is, most times we just decide I want to start up a business. The one that is reigning is everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to be a CEO. It's not a bad idea, but being a CEO is not meant for everybody. That's the truth. You just have to be CEO of your own business.
That's why it's important for you to start out by asking yourself, am I good at this job? Will I be able to deliver?
Exactly, because being an entrepreneur is not an easy feat. It's not the same as sitting in the office and waiting for your salary
But
at the end of the month.
people think it's actually easy to be an entrepreneur because, as the saying goes, you're now self-employed. You dictate what goes on within and outside the business, right? So some people think that it's just easy. Nobody's bossing you around. They forget the part where you have to be disciplined and very well informed.
Exactly, and being an entrepreneur doesn't necessarily even mean you're self-employed. There are 4 categories of that. There are those who are self-employed, there are those who are working, there are the business owners, and we have investors. Now, if you're under investors, business owners, or self-employed, people tend to call you a CEO, an entrepreneur, or something, but basically it could be across this. There are people who invest in businesses, they are not always present, they are not even there. Maybe they're even working for somewhere else and the business is thriving, or they show up once in a while, but they have maybe a working manager or something like that. So you would have to, like you said, you would have to actually ask yourself some very serious questions. Number 1, ordinarily, do I just want to jump into business because I want to jump into business? Because everybody is doing business, or my boss is talking to me anyhow in the office. Because of that, I want to start up something, something in the house. You have to actually ask yourself those questions. And are you willing to put in the price for that industry? Now, every industry requires a different price. That's the truth. You want to get into a business like real estate. People don't buy properties every single minute, and you don't always have 10 people come a day to ask you, what are you selling?
Sometimes business is slow.
Exactly. It's not exactly the same thing. So you don't just jump into real estate because you heard, Mr. Peter made this particular amount in real estate and is so successful because he does real estate. Oh, I want to jump into real estate. And you don't also say, because Mrs. C is doing this business and is not producing, I will not do it. No, it doesn't work that way. So all these things are part of the feasibility studies you should do first before jumping into starting a business. But the mistake we make most times is that we jump the gun as people who want to even enter into business. So once you decide you have something to sell, that's how I feel people should start. What do you have to sell? Even salesman, becoming a saleswoman or a salesman requires a skill. The skill of convincing people to buy a particular product.
And good reputation as
and
well.
Good reputation
as little as that sounds, having a skill, being able to effectively get people to listen to you and, enjoy what you're saying, especially when you're explaining something about a particular good and services that you offer. People actually ignore the fact that you also have to have a good reputation as a sales representative or as an entrepreneur generally.
Exactly.
Because
that's how you even get loans from banks.
They think it's irrelevant when it comes to finding a business or getting into a particular trade whatsoever. People do not even take out their time to wonder. Like you said, they just look at people who have done it before in that same area and say, okay, it didn't work, so maybe this is not a good trade for the time, and then it's working for this other person, maybe I could get into it. So people think that it's really irrelevant to take out your time and wonder, why didn't this person achieve this with this business and why isn't it working here? All of those small, feasibility study, as we put it, seem to be irrelevant for some entrepreneurs, and that is the beginning of the downfall of whatever business they go into.
Exactly. And as the saying goes, the devil is in the details. Now, if you don't pay attention to those little details could actually make you stand out. What is going on these days? Maybe we'll talk about that in subsequent editions. Now, people are using what is called data science. They look at how you open web pages. They look at your focus as a person. Ordinarily, you don't know they are monitoring all those things. What you click on the most. They look at all those things and monitor your human thinking using artificial intelligence to even sell things to you. Those details. Now, many years ago, some people went to India. Two friends went to India, and one saw people, they were not wearing shoes, basically, at the time. So one saw, these people are not okay. They are not even wearing shoes. In that person's mind, if I start up a business here with shoes, who would even buy? They don't usually wear shoes. Someone else looked at that, and who knows, most people with that mindset might have come in and didn't sell anything. The other friend now looked at it, Tommy Hilfiger, and said, okay, these people don't wear shoes. If I go to the United States, where I'm from, and I just do those rubber shoes and bring it here, I'll make money. And that's how he started shipping shoes. And my dear, the rest they say is history. He was a millionaire at the end of the day. So your study, it's actually very important when you are to go into a business. Be sure that you're meeting a need, because you can decide, okay, like now, there was a time when I think we are still in that time, just that we are moving away little by little. Now, what is raining is investment platforms, by the way. There was a time it was about boutiques. Everybody wanted to own a boutique. I own a boutique in town. And let's say you're a guy, all the ladies start loving you. You must be so rich. I'm a lady, I own a boutique. You must be so independent and hardworking. Now, people were situating boutiques in places where ordinarily you ask yourself, how many people would come here to buy? I know it's still a huge seller. Someone will tell me it's still selling. Clothes is something we need for life. It's an industry that doesn't end, like food. Food, clothing, and shelter. 3 industries that nobody can chase them away, even if technology turns on its head. But this particular area, everybody was delving. And some places, I'll just go to some places, and you see 5 boutiques in a particular region, and nobody's even living around there. Maybe opposite is just cars that are passing, and maybe opposite the road, but you look at the area, it does not generally encourage this particular business. The people who even live here do not wear this level of clothes. So if probably you have set up all those ones we call okrika, 100, 200 and 300, you would be a huge success there. But people probably go to set up big, where you touch a shirt and they tell you the shirt is 10,000. And the people who are living around that region can only afford the popular one we call bed down select or something, the my one clothes. So, but people don't pay attention to that. Then you see the people who want to sell that level of the my 1 to 200 clothes, they go to places where people are living in big houses and they probably start selling that. And you ask yourself, the people who are here would not buy these clothes. They are probably looking for well-packaged shirts and all those things. So you have to define your market in the process of starting. And that's where the feasibility studies comes in. You now decide, okay, this market, what do they want? The first question I feel anybody should even ask is, am I going to meet a need? Am I going to meet a need with starting this business? Now, there are different needs now. Its needs is not only buying and selling. You can be talking and you're meeting a need. True. You can be singing and you're meeting a need. The musicians
it's being able to identify what need that doesn't have an immediate solution, or like the solution you can come up with that makes your business stand out.
Very true. There are three ways of locating business ideas, and maybe I should just rule that out. Now, one of them is original ideas. You know what I mean by original ideas? Microsoft, what they call it now? The inaugural things, phones, the first time we had phones, the first computers. Those are more like original ideas that are just coming directly. Nobody has done this thing before. We are doing it for the first time. You know, trying to combine Afro music with urban. You know, as at the time when he first started, somebody read the revolution. Now, Fela is known as the king of what they call that kind of Yoruba music now. You know, but he started probably, or maybe built on some, but his style was definitely original, was particular to him. That could be defined as an original business idea, and it will bet what? A new business that probably has not happened around that region in that dimension.
But here's the thing, away from certain things that you've mentioned, you know, certain very innovative inventions that we have, generally business ideas and, you know, business style and trade generally is quite ubiquitous, right? Everybody seemingly has the same idea. It's just the style in which you deliver on those ideas.
I was going to, I said there are three ways. One being, like what I call original is, people are not flying now with their shoes. You create a shoe that flies. Yes, it's building on shoes, but no shoe has flown before. Nobody has gotten to Abuja by flying shoes.
But do people need flying shoes? It's also another question we should. I get it.
Yes.
So that's
part of feasibility. Yes. Do people need flying shoes? And well, I think people need flying shoes anyway. Okay. If we have flying shoes, you're going to destroy. You're going to totally disrupt the aviation aviation industry. We have people who would not be flying again using airplanes because your shoe can probably just fly you. But that's, by the way, it's not even inconceivable. Now, there are the set of people who build on existing ideas. Like you said, you're wearing a particular dress, and I'm looking at the dress and I'm thinking, okay, I could actually make this dress in a way where one part will be probably what do you call it now? Transparent. You know, and the other part, I could work on this dress and it could be a seller. Now, what do people do most times? They improve. We talked, when we're doing technology the other day, we talked about Viber and WhatsApp. There's a particular social media platform that was called Viber at the time. What happened was that they were doing exactly everything WhatsApp was doing. Viber does video calls. They were the first people I felt that were, after to go, Viber was doing video calls and those other things. But what happened? WhatsApp came in and Viber was heavy. They picked out the problems of Viber. Viber was very heavy. As a matter of fact, Viber was even beautiful. It was even, to me, it was finer than WhatsApp. WhatsApp was too simple, but that was the idea. They made it too simple that the common man can actually just learn how to use it immediately. And it was not heavy to install. Viber was quite heavy. You open Viber, every that in your phone starts hanging. So, and they also did it for the future, like the Android phones and all that. But that was an improvement on a previously made innovation. So that's another way to look at it. So you want to start Bole. Bole is everywhere now. Do your feasibility studies. What kind of business am I going to start in Bole? Madam A is selling Bole. Sister B is selling Bole. Are you also just going to join the train? Or there is something different you'll be willing to do? That's where feasibility studies come in. You then define which catchment area. There's always a niche you can buy into. Then lastly, those who work with those improved ideas and invest money on it. They just pick those ideas and pump in money. What I mean by that is, you see a Bole business going on now, and all you just do is pump in money and expand, build a bigger place, and maybe just add drinks and something, and people start going there instead of going
increasing
to
the prospect.
Yes, where there's
area.
no AC and all those things. So I think that's what we need to. But all these boils down to the main thing: feasibility studies. Before starting a trade, first you need to pick an industry. Where are you even going to? What are you going to delve into? And even inside that industry, which would be your area of concentration? Every business has a niche. Which niche are you going to be pursuing in your own business? You want to sell clothes. It's not every clothes that is meant for 18 to 25 or 18 to 35. There are clothes for 50 to 70. There are clothes for, even if you're a health practitioner, just like we see in health, people move into different sectors. We have people who are specialized or who specialize in taking care of children. I'm trying to get the name now. The oncologist, what they call the gynecologist, and those is the same thing in business. You have to actually, even if you're selling clothes, you have to define what kind of clothes am I going to sell. Am I going to be an all-rounder? I'm going to sell clothes for everybody. With the way I'm starting, encourage me to do so. Don't forget that people who do only children clothes, and they're millionaires. There are people who do only middle-aged or maybe youth clothes for the youths, and they're selling. And there are those who sell for the expensive ones, who sell for the big boys and the big ladies, and they're also making it. So feasibility studies is critical if you want to actually make it count in business. And I think it's something everybody would need to buy into. You want to start a business, the first thing is not money. It's not to look for money. That's not the best way to start. Looking for, I see people just, if I get this money, I don't knock this business. No, it doesn't work that way. You focus on the idea first. Segment a market for yourself, and ask yourself those fundamental questions. Don't just start a business in an area because you saw it succeed in Lagos. You just say, okay, because this person is doing it in Lagos, I'm going to Port Harcourt to start it. Ask yourself, the people I'm going to sell this thing to in Port Harcourt, do they need it? Port Harcourt is a slow-paced city. Lagos is very fast. There are things that will definitely, those little details, you can just say, no, this business is working in Lagos, doesn't mean it's going to work here. So these are a whole lot more little questions you might need to ask, particular to the industry you want to actually delve into before you can actually start a business.
And the patience level of the entrepreneur as well is one of the things you have to consider. Understanding that businesses sometimes do not yield or get you that clientele or that big number of profit that you want in just, a blink of an eye. It takes a lot of time for you to get to that level. Building a business is one of the things you have to premeditate before it even starts happening. Before you put in monies or capital into a business, you start by thinking or asking yourself, how long would it take me for me to grow from point A to point B without eating into my capital and having the adequate amount of turnover? Is also a question you must ask yourself. Not while you are in the business. You don't consider all of these things while you're in the business. You consider them before you get into business. Time and patience as an entrepreneur. You do not expect that you are getting the same profit as somebody who puts a different amount of money into the same business as you did. So you have to understand at your own pace as well. If you're starting up a business of 50,000 naira, you do not expect to make profits of over 100,000 in just a month. That's something that a lot of these entrepreneurs do not know, and that's why we find quick fold-ups. I mean, you have a lot of these good businesses with good shining ideas, and then before you know it, they fold up.
8 out of 10 businesses crash in the first 5 years. Statistics have said, and it's actually true. Get rich quick scheme is another thing. Bill Gates said something. He said you don't expect to make $60,000 just a year after high school. That's a very wrong way of thinking and a way of focusing if you want to actually make it count. We have a quick fix generation. We have a generation of yesterday. People who want it done as quickly as maybe yesterday. So if you actually want to delve into a particular sector or business, like she said, like you said, my lady, you have to actually invest time and money. Now, people who don't make one profit until after the first year. That's why I said, are you willing to pay the price of becoming an entrepreneur? You run a lot of risk. Nobody pays you, you pay everybody. Nobody tells you pay yourself. You decide when you get paid, but everybody waits for you. End of the month, you must pay us.
But do you know that also becoming an entrepreneur doesn't necessarily mean you have to start big? Really, that's the mistake a lot of people do. People call in sometimes and tell you that I have this business idea I want to start up, but then I do not have enough money. I need 5 million. I need 1 million to start up the business. And you're asking, where do you want to get the 5 or 1 million that you do not even have right now? So what is wrong with starting small is another question that a lot of these entrepreneurs have to answer for themselves. Now, what can you do? Who can you partner with is another thing. A lot of people do not know that to start up a business, sometimes you may not have all the funds, but you can partner with somebody who has the funds or something that you lack for you to start up that particular business.
Exactly. The one-time richest man in the world, I've talked about him already here, Bill Gates. Many people do not know that he co-founded his company. It's not like he founded it alone. He co-founded it with Paul Allen. And at some point too, Steve Ballmer, his college classmate now, also came into the business and was the CEO for some time. So ordinarily, you don't need money always. Like I said, there are four groups, and ordinarily the way I see myself is I feel you have to start from one. From employee, move to self-employed. From yes, you can start anywhere anyway. These days we are seeing strange things. From self-employed, you then be a business owner before you can then become an investor. You can't stay where you are and you keep waiting for money to come before you start up a business. If your business is even sellable, if your idea is even smart, from where you are, you should have been able to start selling something. The truth is, our generation, or most people, not everybody, but most people who don't actually get to those places called El Dorado in business, they're not willing to start small. Most of them want to just start big. Give me a car. They go approach people to loan them 10 millions of naira. They buy cars. They have an office already. You don't have a market and you have an office and a car. It's not making sense. You're probably starting a technology business where you're going to be building websites for people and softwares and all that, and you've rented an office with a nice chair and you have one car to go around. No, it doesn't automatically translate to success. Yes, packaging is important, but it does not translate to automatic success. You can start from where you are. I can count series of business people who started with where they are and with what they have. The big businesses we are mentioning today, some of the big businesses started from a cubicle, some started from the kitchen, some started from the backyard.
So managing from small actually helps your business in the future.
In economics, the principle is simple. You don't grow big to manage well. You manage well to grow big. That's how it works. So from that little level that you are, from that 1,000, how do you work with that 1,000? If you give somebody that cannot manage 100 million, they'll still come down to maybe, if their level of thinking is 50,000, they'll still come down to that 50,000. So the quantity on amount you are using to start the business is not the most important thing. It is you and what you can offer, your mental capacity. Now you're going into a business, there are different facets of leading a business. There's delegation, there is communication, there is marketing. There are different aspects of the business you want to delve in that you would have to actually have some little knowledge of. So it's not just, okay, I have a skill or I am very good at it. You can have a skill and I'll be very good at something and you're staying in your back and no one hears about it because your marketability is not even that good, like some others. That's where people might need to work on. You have a talent most times. Like I see people, I want to start a recording studio. Some of the musicians you're listening to, they started with singing one track. Before at least that track sold. They started with singing in their streets, in their parlor. Then from there they sang in the community, from community to the state. Then, and all that. All these things are business. Before they got to a level where they now own a recording label, recording studio. But you're just somewhere. You're looking for millions of naira to start a recording studio. You're not making too much sense to yourself and you're delaying the process. Because in reality, it is about you. Not about the thing in your hands. It's about the content of your character and what you have as a capacity to grow that business that matters. Like I mentioned, Bill Gates started from ground low. No, there was no, okay, you're receiving a funding of 1 billion naira to start. I can talk about Steve Jobs. I would always mention these two people because probably I followed their stories for a while. Steve made 150,000 calls a month. He made. When Steve Wozniak was talking about it, 150,000 phone calls to prospective clients and investors he wanted to invest in his business after they grew to a particular level. Now, he saw the market and he started making those calls. Can you make those calls? Are you willing to actually get those no? So, but in all, what happens, or what it boils down to is study your market, study what you're getting into, and study yourself too that is doing it. That's all part of feasibility studies. What kind of business can you deal with? Can you deal with a business that interfaces with people and they tell you no at times? Can you deal with those no's? Or are you that type that gets, why is he talking to me like that?
All right.
Are you willing to deal with
our news team to bring you the latest Today 95.1 FM.
Today 95.1 FM. Board Harcourt. News update.
Good afternoon. Here is the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Wealth Wilson. The Rivers State government says it will not allow any part of the state to be invaded under any guise. The Deputy Governor of Rivers State, Ipalibo Harry Banigo, stated this when she played host to a delegation of Ogbako Eche at Government House in Rivers State, Port Harcourt. Harry Banigo said Eche communities wrongly placed in Imo State on the 10th edition of the administrative map of Nigeria will be corrected, stressing that Governor Nyesom Wike's led administration is committed to protecting the interests of the Rivers people. The Deputy Governor, in a statement by the head of her press unit, Owupele Benebo urged the people to remain calm as she assured that the matter, which was instituted by the Rivers State government against Imo State on the boundary issue, is making some progress. Earlier, the President General of Ogbako Eche, Charles Nwonoala, had informed the Deputy Governor that the people of Eche are concerned over the wrongful placement of some communities in the 10th edition of the administrative map of Nigeria. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike and stakeholders in Akukutoro local government area of the state have been called to urgently intervene in what the people of Abisa Kingdom have described as marginalization. The people of Abisa Kingdom, in a protest in Port Harcourt, complained of an alleged plan by some leaders to deny Ward 17 zoning arrangement for the councillorship position in the area. The people complained that the councillorship position is still being allocated to the same community that has been serving councillor after waiting for 14 years for the position to be zoned back to them. The youth president of Abisa Kingdom, Prince Amakri, who read out the position of Abisa people, said they are aware of a document being circulated on social media signed by the leaders of Akukutoro local government area, which he said is against the long-age zoning agreement between the people.
We are aware of a document being circulated on social media, purportedly signed by the leaders of Akukutoro local government area against the age-long zoning of councillorship position in Ward 17. We want to state that it is the turn of Abisa Kingdom to produce the next councillor upon the expiration of the current tenure of Honorable Obebe Sombre, who is from Elensangama community. We therefore appeal to the above-mentioned leaders, particularly our amiable quality project governor, Chief of Rivers State, Chief Barrister Ezebunwa Wike, to reverse this decision to avert the political tension that is brewing and restore the age-long cordial relationship that has existed amongst the communities of Abisa, Edama, Soku, and the good people of Elensangama community.
On their part, princes of Abisa Kingdom, Charles Lodson and Tammy Joshua, who is the public relations officer of the youth in the community, threatened to reject any act of injustice against the people.
I am using this medium to call on the executive governor of Rivers State, Mr. Project, and a fighter of justice, Chief Barrister Ezebunwa Wike, and other stakeholders in Akukutoro local government area to intervene.
I want to say that this is unacceptable to the entire people of Abisa community, that we have waited 14 years for councillorship position. So we will not accept this. We are calling on the governor of Rivers State to intervene to avert the political tension that is looming in Ward 17. We will never accept it, and we will put it vehemently until justice prevails in Ward 17 in Akuto local government area.
It is the expectation of members of local vigilante groups in Emoha local government area of Rivers State to be recalled by the Emoha Council Chairman Tom Alizi to continue their operations in the area after feeling the conditions by the council chairman and security agencies in the area. Security agencies and other stakeholders had called for a security stakeholders meeting with members of the local vigilante groups after the disbandment. The stakeholders at the meeting had directed that members of the local vigilante groups should submit themselves for profiling with their photograph and details at the council secretariat. One of the leaders in the area, Ohaka, communities in Emoha local government area are living in fear since the disbandment of OSPAC following the killing of one Chikwere Mbegbu less than 24 hours after the Ndele axis, around the Ndele axis of East-West Road. Northern governors have asked the federal government to provide funding for the establishment of ranches across the region. The chairman of the Northern Governors Forum, Simon Lalong, said this on a television appearance on television, saying the governors have been in support of ranching system. Governor Lalong said, with the rise of insecurity in the country, ranching offers the only way to control insecurity. Lalong, who is the governor of Plateau State, assured that all stakeholders, including members of Cattle Herders Association across the country, were on board with the idea of ranching. He said the Plateau State government was prepared 74,000 hectares of land for the ranching exercise, but needs funding to develop the project. On the foreign scene, South Africa is considering swapping or selling the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine against coronavirus. According to the health minister, Plans to use it to vaccinate health workers have been put on hold after a small study suggested a minimal effect against the country's new variant in young people. It is intending to use a vaccine from Johnson & Johnson instead. South Africa has 1.5 million doses of. And that was the news update on Today 95.1 FM. Do not forget to take responsibility. Wash your hands frequently with soap and running water. Avoid touching your face in high contact surfaces to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Once again, good afternoon. I'm Wealth Wilson. Do stay tuned. Today's hustle comes up next.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Talk radio.
I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
ASA radio station determined to walk the talk with you. We are tweaking our programs and presentations to expand our conversations and views. Monday to Thursday, 1 p.m. to 2, we bring to you dedicated programs on ICT and tech, health, business, and education. We will continue to grow and accommodate more scopes to ensure more people are heard. We remain your premium talk, news, and sports station, Port Harcourt.
I didn't know open that. Come on, open that door now. I go match and down. Oh yeah, give me that thing. Come on, give me the phone. Give me that thing. Oh yeah, shoot that police. They go over.
Insecurity has become a common factor in our general language within the Nigerian space, no doubt. Not only has it become a threat, it has begun taking diverse dimension we cannot ignore. A solution we seek. A desire to stop the trend is imminent.
Waste up 2 seconds.
God, hey, Jesus. Straight bullet, oh, what kind of country is this? Hey boy, I just said to go and buy something, what kind of thing is straight bullet from well? I'm finished though.
Directly or indirectly, we all have lost people, friends, family, or acquaintances as a result of insecurity. But is security only the job of the government? No, security is not one man's job alone. Every individual in the society has a role to play in order to achieve a secure society. We urge citizens and indigents to adhere and respect the laws of the state, report irregular activities to the authorities, and we implore security agencies to carry out their duties as stipulated by the Constitution and not infringe on the rights of citizens. If we work together, we can build the Nigeria of our dreams. This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM.
I am a proud Nigerian. I have been placed here by God for a time such as this.
At my back, I ain't coming back. The degradation, challenges, and problems faced by Nigeria are the perfect backdrop for me to develop and utilize my God-given potential.
I will not complain. I will not criticize. Rather, I will use my skills, gifts, relationships,
and experience to find long-lasting and revolutionary solutions to the many challenges confronting Nigeria.
Nigeria will rise again.
Because I am here, I will leave this nation
a better place than I met it. I will work to make Nigeria a praise on the earth.
I will work to make Nigeria a praise on the earth. So help me God. Let me tell you how I got this far.
This message is brought to you by Today95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
You don't have to be in government to serve. You don't have to hold a political office to change lives. It was Mahatma Gandhi that said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. So before you point out how the government has failed in service, ask yourself, are you being of service to your fellow Nigerian in your own little corner? As Mother Teresa puts it, unless life is lived serving others, it is not worth living at all. This message is powered by Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
This president's failed.
It's about the future of this country.
We're going to take it back. We're going to take it back.
You asked us to vote you into that position so you can bring about that
solution.
So when you vote me, then you sleep.
Let me see if I can take another phone call. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
What makes a policeman to be able to feed is the gun he's holding. They use their gun to extort money from people.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
No longer news that we are truly the voice of the people.
Am I not a slave in Nigeria?
I refuse if you are. If you say you're
a slave. Let's not get to that now. So the Nigerian Rob is philosophizing.
You spot the difference now?
This is today's hustle. One show that embodies objectivity. We raise the bar in examining the good, the bad, the sordid, everything that has to do with society.
In America, you buy a big house and you pay gradually for 30 years of your life. That is politics. In Nigeria, you carry all your salary and go and rent one bad politics.
Everything that has to do with
you
society.
must negotiate. If we don't negotiate, when a man is pushed to the wall, he bounces back with double levels. We have been pushed to the wall.
The Hustle. Every weekday from
1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
on Today 95.1 FM.
This is today's hustle. One show that embodies objectivity. We raise the bar in examining the good, the bad, the sordid, everything that has to do with society.
In America, you buy a big house and you pay gradually for 30 years of your life. That is politics. In Nigeria, you carry all your salary and go and rent one bad politics.
Everything that has to do with
you
society.
must negotiate. If we don't negotiate, when a man is pushed to the wall, he bounces back with double levels. We have been pushed to the wall.
The Hustle. Every weekday from
1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
on Today 95.1 FM.
You know what? Put that down now. I go match and down. Oh yeah, give me that thing. Come on, give me the phone. Give me that thing. Oh yeah, that one shoot that police. They go over.
Insecurity has become a common factor in our general language within the Nigerian space, no doubt. Not only has it become a threat, it has begun taking diverse dimension we cannot ignore. A solution we seek. A desire to stop the trend is imminent.
Wait up 2 seconds.
God, hey, Jesus. Straight bullet, oh, what kind of country is this? A boy, I just said to go and buy something, what kind of thing is straight bullet from where? I'm finished, though.
Directly or indirectly, we all have lost people, friends, family, or acquaintances as a result of insecurity. But is security only the job of the government? No. Security is not one man's job alone. Every individual in the society has a role to play in order to achieve a secure society. We urge citizens and indigents to adhere and respect the laws of the state, report irregular activities to the authorities, and we implore security agencies to carry out their duties as stipulated by the Constitution and not infringe on the rights of citizens. If we work together, we can build the Nigeria of our dreams. This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM.
Welcome back. This is today's hustle. We said we had something very interesting for you, and we apologize for the delay. Anyway, we're trying to get through to. It seems all our guests today decided to all get busy. Really, we're trying to get someone from a psychiatric hospital in Rumibo, yes, Wisdom, who would join us on this show, but. Somehow we are left to our faith. But we will do this, right? You and I, every single one of us together. Wisdom Obina is here. Wealth Wilson is here. Now, this is what we plan to talk about today. We're going to talk about the number of loitering schizophrenic persons on the streets of Port Harcourt. I don't know how many times you have probably taken a stroll somewhere, or you've gone somewhere and you've come face to face with a lot of these people who are, mentally deranged on the road, and you've been scared by maybe what they plan to do or what they would do, or whether or not you should continue on the path where you're working. But I have been a victim of that. It's not like it was a violent one, no, but it probably just distorted my thinking for a little bit. Like, what could happen now? I mean, he's holding something, he could hit me or whatever. Now, I don't know, Wisdom, if you've had that experience as well. Yeah. Walking on the streets or driving somewhere, and you just have these people cross, at will, or maybe you're passing, or just taking a stroll, and then you encounter one of them.
Exactly.
What was the feeling for you?
It happened two nights ago. I left the office.
Oh, yours was even.
And I left around 10 p.m. And I just saw this heavyweight-looking man. And he was just carrying something heavy. And I was like, if this man decides to... I was ready, anyway. I was ready for anything. I was just stepping out of the office. I was ready for anything. Just that I just paused and he passed. And I moved on. But I was ready for anything, because at that point... but it made me wonder what it would be for ladies, because madness does not take away your eyes from seeing that wealth is beautiful. So... It could lead to issues for them, especially in the night. But yes, it's a big problem. On a serious note, now it's actually a big issue. Now, most times, prevalently, people always tell us that they don't have money to probably take care of their people that are not in the right frame of minds. The expense of dealing those things with the psychiatric bodies actually affects them. But then again, you don't leave these people on the streets just on their own, and also you risk the life of others. Now, there were times in Rivers State where we heard stories of uncompleted buildings, ladies passing through that particular angle in the night, and this set of mad people or mad person would probably do some nasty thing to the ladies, and until that particular case was also dealt with. So ordinarily, we are at a level or at a stage where I feel it should be taken seriously, because people are beginning to take that particular this particular case with some sense of kid gloves and levity. Just once they have issues, leave them on the road. They probably drive down to Delta and drop them there, or close to their village and just drop them and move on.
Here's
and
the
then
thing.
make life unbearable, and a little bit frightening for those who live around there.
Now, here's the thing. We do understand that in this part of the world, we have people who actually indulge or engage in such activities, such as carrying a schizophrenic patient, especially a family member, taking them from one state to another just so people around the other area do not see that somebody within that family has some sort of mental distortion or what have you. But then why is it not a habit for a lot of us to take people who we feel are, somewhat mentally disturbed to the psychiatric, or have them see anybody, a professional, just to ensure that this person can receive help and can get back their sanity or not, but would rather allow them, loiter and roam the streets? It's also another question that we would have to ask. And secondly, having government responsibilities, again, in some states, really, you wouldn't see a lot of these things happen. There are certain cities in Cross River State where you do not see, mentally disturbed persons roam the streets, because the government had at the time made it a point of duty to ensure that anyone that they find would be taken to maybe a mental home. In Lagos State as well, I mean, there's a place where they call Yaba Left, where the government ensures that whenever there is a case of one person who is loitering the road and is constituting some sort of nuisance, especially when the person is not mentally fit, the person is taken to a psychiatric home. But then we don't see that happen. It may be happening, but I don't think that we have enough facilities and logistics to help them cater and ensure that the adequate amount of all of these schizophrenic persons are being taken to the psychiatric home. So what can the government do at this point in time to reduce the number of people who loiter the streets of Port Harcourt, or even River State indeed, who are not mentally stable? What can they do to ensure that they are no longer on the streets? How do we work in collaboration with psychiatric homes, whether public or private funded, to ensure that these persons are taken out of the street? And that was why we needed to talk to the man I tried calling, having on the show today, but somehow he isn't able to come through. I mean, a lot of these questions need to be answered. Now we're battling with the issue of COVID-19, and you never can tell. I've had a situation where somebody one time said that she was walking on the streets and a certain man who is not very stable grabs her by the hand, and then away from the danger and the violent threats that probably could ensue from there. What about, the issue of COVID-19 and ensuring that you stay germ-free and, away from, objects that are not very neat?
Exactly, and now you're coming to that. Maybe I just threw it out there. The case of the Amajiris who stay in some particular locations. I don't know, it's becoming something else, but maybe we just touch it a bit. Now, in Rumokoro axis, Chuba, my one pack or something. I know some strategic places where if you're not driving and you get on foot, you see some of these people who stay around the street come around, hold your hands, try to ask for some feelings and monies and all those things, and it looks like COVID-19 is not exactly being preached to these people.
There was a time when we were talking about repatriating these people back to the north, and a lot of people had their reservations as to whether or not it will work. We saw states who already started engaging in it, and then even though it met with different reactions, but then again, this is a very sensitive time. You understand? We have COVID-19, and we're battling with whether or not we'll be able to flatten the curve as to how many persons get the infection. And you have a situation where you're just going about your business, and children who are not very aware, or people who are not very aware about how it is these times, just come and grab your hands or your body, and it somewhat promotes the spread of COVID-19. And you wonder what government is doing, not just the River State government, local government chairman as well. You would understand that they would send certain reports to the state government to ensure that, okay, the people within the local government are taken care of, because this is health issues now at this point in time. Street urchins, just different people on the streets who are not, adequately taken care of by government provision.
It's not just about the people that are termed Amajiris. They are, like you said, street urchins. That people just hang around. And although I don't know if they hold your hands, those other people, but they also disturb, even though ordinarily the people who are aggressive about it, without mincing words, are actually those little kids now.
So why do we have up to this time we do not have government or even corporate bodies, right, who are actively involved in reducing the number of street urchins that we have, reducing the number of schizophrenic people on the streets, people who are not mentally stable on the streets? Why don't we have that increasing amount, understanding that at this times when sensitization and proper care is supposed to be taken, we're supposed to see actions taken in all these other fronts as well, just to show the seriousness of the government together with other bodies on their need to reduce the number of COVID-19 infected persons, and also read the streets of this. You might want to call it nuisance too, but then read the streets of all of these issues and this nuisance, basically.
Well, the thing is, we always talk about leadership as being a thing that is entire, holistic. The entirety of a system is what you're leading, and not a particular sector. It takes some leaders, especially in the local governments and maybe the governor too, to actually look at some of these things and see how they can curtail it. We are not saying you should eradicate those things, but see how you can actually work to make sure it reduces from the schizophrenics now, and those who are really mentally unstable on the road, down to the street urchins and amajuris. It's not only in Nigeria you have people who hang around the road, but then again the aggressiveness becomes a problem, and how they actually approach you also stirs its own issues that actually stares you in the face. And like I would always mention, if you don't actually clamp down on that thing as early as possible, it grows. We're talking about COVID-19. We're talking about people that just come to hold your hands ordinarily, so it's not even healthy, because most of them don't even actually obey the COVID-19 protocols like they are supposed to.
They do not even know the protocols to start with.
That's another thing. So sensitization, can you even sensitize this set of people to convince them not to actually hold people's hands when they are, because what they are doing is not termed as the right thing to do. So you can't go and start saying, okay, we want to create sensitization for the amajuris and street urchins. What they're actually doing is not what you deem the best thing for you to do. No society will support people who would decide not to be productive with their minds. Now, what I mean by that is the person selling water on the street is trying to be productive, is trying to do something. The person who is hawking things around, even though it's not good to do street trading, but hawking things around is not exactly a bad thing. If you're moving around, it's where you stand to do the hawking that's a problem. So it's not actually, those people are still productive to an extent. At least they are trying to do buying and selling that adds to the economy. But someone who sits somewhere and only begs to collect adds little or nothing to the economy. And you definitely would not encourage that if you're a sitting governor. I would not, if I'm the sitting governor, I would not encourage that. So definitely, if you want to look at it from that angle, it's not something they can go and say, okay, let's create a sensitization program for this particular sector of people. And it's not the first. It's not something we are not used to. Even when we had the issues of Ebola, those people were still there. It was people who were running away, So it ordinarily is not supposed to be so. And this still boils down to the issue of amajuris and talking about repatriations to states and all that. As much as I'm seeing an economic management of the truth, in different platforms, broadcasting houses, media outlets, newspapers, and websites. Everybody trying not to say the direct thing, so you would not probably be the one that is constituting, maybe standing like an opposition or someone who does not like the unity of the country. But this is not about the unity of the country. It's about the unity of a system, a particular area where these people thrive. It doesn't actually make sense if something is not done. Now, the fact that, I said yesterday, the fact that my mother's goat died does not mean I should kill myself that night in eating pepper soup. No. So the fact that these people are okay with this thing in their own area does not mean that they should probably come and populate my own area with this particular thing thriving. So ordinarily, we must find a way. It still brings us to that round table. If ordinarily the name Amajiri is not actually utilized properly, I think those are people that are looking for knowledge, Islamic schools and all that. It's not exactly what those people are. We just term those people who stand around as with those names. So we need to still find a way to look at that situation. Like I said, every single day that population is growing. it's not about the population. It's not about where they're coming from. It's about the productivity, the number of unproductive people that probably you still have, at least at some level in the state. Now, if maybe one person, like I said, they are probably not working. Not probably, they are not working. But at the end, kids are still coming. Now you have 10 children from one mother, and the mother is not working, and they are inculcating in those children the habits of dragging people's hands outside pursuing COVID-19 and maybe reducing the issues that come around with that. But you're increasing the level of unproductivity. And I will not, like I said, I will try not to be economical with the truth, because it is what it is. That doesn't help. Because the more you allow that population to increase, those children will probably still, some of them will be
But what role do you think that the government can play, understanding the sensitivity, especially with the children that we categorize as Marjorie? Now, those ones have, some sort of pattern, religious pattern. We have a lot of them who come in to meet with, a teacher who is probably supposed to groom them for a while. Now, other state governments may not likely like the act, especially with the ones who have to stay out and, fend for themselves, especially with begging and getting arms from people along the road or on the streets. But then what can state government do? Remember, the repatriation exercise that certain state governments were about to engage in got a lot of reaction. Some people saying that it is wrong, other people saying that it is good. But then what can government do on all levels? That's regional government now, or even with the federal government. Now, we understand that certain religions allows for certain things, isn't it? Now, what can we do as the people to ensure that you do not infringe on another person's religious belief, and also do not allow their religious beliefs affect the state of things within a particular jurisdiction? We must create a structure. That's the first place. I'm one person who supports migration. I mean, if you want to move to anywhere, Nigeria, I even support migration to other countries, but Nigeria is our country. You should be able to go to anywhere. We're all Nigerians, but we don't. The challenge with our own Nigeria and the United States, because I see people make all those comparisons that we are not the only diverse people. We are quite diverse. We don't believe in the same things. Yes, there are people who don't also, but they obey the same structure. But here in Nigeria, do we actually have structures or even have people who are willing to obey? So I think the first, if I was a governor or the governor of a state, I think the first thing is a structure, a proper structure. What do I mean by a proper structure? I don't permit this in my state. If you're going to live in my state, you will not do this particular thing. My people, we don't allow this to happen. It's the same with what is going on with Rotimi Akeredolu. And they tell you, no, we don't want day grazing. It's not your state. You can't stay in your state and tell me what to do in my state. You can't sit in your own part of the country and decide for me what to do in my own state. It's not correct. So ordinarily, we need a working structure, and the governor or the governors of the various states must look into it. Now, if the governor of Plateau State believes, for example, that you can probably go into streets and graze, or you can probably have this set of people all over the streets, and they can give birth, because those days the father will just sit one side and send the children, on parade. You go and meet this person, go and meet this person. This person will have money. Go and meet this person. So if the governor allows that to happen, that means the structure of the state permits it, because the governor is the custodian of the structure, legal, whatever of the state. So if he permits it to happen, it's fantastic. But I think for us to curtail it, we need a structure. Now, the people from the west, or the people from the east, or the people from the north, none of them they are amazing people. None of them are bad people. They are good people. But there are those who come here and they establish businesses. They put out goods and services on the market to make a living and also take something back home to their people. Those are the people every country encourages to join them. Now, you want to travel today to Canada, you want to migrate, they will ask you, are you a doctor? Are you a this? The areas where they need help or they really need in their country, they look at that area to probably issue you. So I think we should borrow that leaf in our own local way and localize it. Now, you're coming into Rivers State. That might not work really. No, I'm not saying directly. Because when you think about having selective migration where the states or regions decide who comes in. That's why I say you localize it. Now, we don't have a case where people are waiting at the borders. Localizing it would be a problem, as I said. It would not because be a problem, it would now be selective migration. You would not allow for somebody that you do not need to come in en masse. You understand? But it has to be selective. It can't be, because this is Nigeria for all of us. Understand what I mean. Now, ordinarily, you're not going to say you're at the border
show me your passport. There's no interstate passport. So, but once you people, what are you people doing here? We don't encourage this in this state. So if you're saying that's selective, entering the state is not selective. Nigeria belongs to all of us. But for example, you're in a particular place. There are people who are task force around that region. Please, what are you doing here? What are you doing sitting on that here? What are you doing? And you say, okay, no, you are one of the... No. You shouldn't be here. So you either get productive or you leave the state and go to another state where they permit that kind of thing. But I think it's something we need to see it as a country. It's not just something, because if you do it as a state, at times it might look like you're not okay with a particular people. Everybody thinks everything from the ethnocentric side of it, and I think it's very wrong. Oh, because I want peace in my state, I'm against the Igbos. Oh, because I don't like people selling around my begging around, I'm against the Northerners.
Well,
it shouldn't be that way.
I think away from that, how to reduce the number of persons who loiter on the streets without having anything to do again would be the state government having maybe structures that would allow for, especially with this, the Islamic teachers and their word, have a place where they can stay. And also
see, we have what they call, what is it, Makaranta or something. No, it's not about where they study. Those people are not looking for where to study. They're looking for where to earn their daily bread by begging from people. That's a different case from creating places for them. There are places for you to study. I lived in the barracks. I went to a Muslim children's school. That's how I knew one or two things as a child. So it's not like those schools don't exist. I went to a place where they were teaching us one or two little things about Quran. It's not like it does not exist. But this particular place, that's what they're actually looking for. If that's not, you encourage them. Say, please, in my state, where I come from, where we live here, this is what we do. If it means you pushing something, if it means you trying to sell something on your head, but you have to be productive. We don't encourage this thing here. You can say it politely, but you're making your point. But if it is about building a place for them to settle, I would not encourage that one. Everybody that comes into Rivers State from other parts of the country, they come in to hustle and probably make something out of their lives. We've seen those who came with nothing grow to become things. And that's why Rivers State has been a home for all. But ordinarily, we don't create places for them to stay because they are coming from, let's say, Imo State or from Lagos or from Sokoto. We don't create places for them to sleep. So they come here, maybe their sister is here, they stay, or mother or something, they stay here for a while, and they go and offer goods and services in the marketplace and make something. So until we create that structure, if it means a tax force, you're not chasing anybody out.
But just ensure that they do not loiter.
Yes.
And
however you want to eat is your business, but we don't
then
encourage this here. If it means you said the people who are selling water on the street, something is not wrong with them. They're trying to survive also, and they're also trying to eat and have a living, even if we are discouraging street trading. But those particular are selling water and all those things on their head. It's not because they cannot sit somewhere and appeal and you give them something in their plates. It's not because they cannot run around or they don't know where rich people will come to go and meet. But they've known for themselves that for them to make something out of their life based on the culture of where they are coming from, they need to actually work. So we need to create a system. Why is that people go into the United States and they don't throw things on the road? Our own Nigerians go there and finish eating and you put it in your bag. And when you get to a waste this thing, boy, in Nigeria, you just finish eating and throw it out because we have created a structure that permits it. And somehow in our minds, it's Nigeria, let me just eat it and dump it there. But if you get to the same people will get to the states. And now people go, we have a culture of maybe deforestation, some of those issues that we're actually fighting against. I mean, a hitting one that is deforestation and maybe animals. These same people go to the United States and they see pigeons going around. Nobody kills anything. Everybody just goes to where they are going. The pigeons are free. But they come back here and it's a different thing. So it's because the structure, it's not because the people in the United States are smarter. It's not because they have 3 heads. No. It is because their structure has confined everybody that if you move like this, that they pick you already. Where are you from? This one you're acting like this. They're taking you to the immigration and everything. If you don't say anything that is too convincing, you're on your way back. So everybody is conditioned to behave. It's the same way we can actually. It's not because you hate anybody. It is because you're trying to create a sane system.
All right. We will open the phone lines now, and let's talk about our government and civic responsibility, especially with removing people who have some sort of mental disorder on the streets. Schizophrenic people everywhere, and then you're wondering, is this how we're going to continue? I mean, we're looking at a mega city. We're looking at restoring Port Harcourt to, the Garden City, and also indeed River State generally. And then you're asking yourself, why do you walk around? You can barely go junction to junction without seeing one person who has issue of, the mind, right? Now, what is the government doing? And people as well, indigents, individuals who have relatives, friends, families who somewhat have, some mental disorder. Allow for these people to roam about. Sometimes they even take them to another state to roam, just so nobody knows that within the family there's a problem, or there's a mental or psychological problem that could, erupt at any time. So all of these things are also part of the things we have to. That's why we ask civic responsibility as a people. What gives us that scare of taking people to the psychiatric hospital to see how we can help people who have mental imbalance? And then what can the government do to remove these people from the streets so that we don't have them loitering about in numbers? And then away from that, we're now talking about COVID-19. And we have a good number of street urchins. We have children along this Rumokoro here, right? I mean, we have those ones that would run and wrap themselves around you and tell you, please give me money, God will bless you, and all of that plenty things. And then you're wondering if these children understand that there's COVID-19 and they should not, be clinging around and touching just anything like that. It then means that we didn't put in the right thoughts into fighting COVID-19. I mean, as irrelevant as it may sound, but this could be an active avenue for spreading the virus, right? So if the government is really, really deliberate about trying to flatten the curve on the number of infections that we have in the country, how come we haven't seen, effective measures put in place to curtail the number of these children that loiter the streets, looking for who to get arms or get monies from? What can we do as a people? In Rivers State here, how can we meander around that? Our civic responsibility to each other. And then government responsibility. What agencies are responsible for going around and looking for schizophrenic people that they could take to the psychiatric home and finding or tracing their families to come in there and look for them or feed them or, take responsibility of these persons? Let's get to hear from you now. 0817 000951 or 0810 9510 951. Please send in your messages to the number 0701 9339 962. We have a couple text messages here. Let's see. It says River State government is doing a lot to that regards. The fact of the matter is that neighboring states are sabotaging the efforts of the government. The other day, a truckload of mad people were dumped at Imo Gate from neighboring states, and that's coming from Chris. I wouldn't know how true that is, but if it is, then it's something that we have to look into as a government and as a people. How is that possible? 95.1 FM.
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Mazi Awadezi.
You're welcome.
I greet the guests in your studio.
I greet you. Good afternoon.
Good day, sir. You see,
hello? All right, please do well to call back. 95.1 FM.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I greet all of you in the studio.
You're welcome. What's your name and where you're calling from?
My name is George. George, calling from Romeo Community.
You're welcome, George.
Yes, first of all, government has to create an enabling environment. That is where everything is being really centered on. Now, the last time I checked, I know that we have a Ministry of Welfare and Rehabilitation, understand, and the former administration of Right Honorable Chibike Amechi had tried so much in removing these people from the streets. Especially if you should go to within the by 3 houses because you go to River State University, you see a lot of people there from different states, especially they are from different states, begging and other things. So if at all our government is going to be sensitive enough to eradicate these people some of them are not even mad on it. Sometimes it will be that hardship may also cause all these things. Understand me? So the government or the federation, from the government, from the federal to the state to the local government, they are not planning for their citizens. I am telling you to be sincerely, no plan in this Nigeria, nothing. There is still the same people protecting themselves, calling names, deceiving the masses in one way or the other. I think the government should try to be proactive in nature instead of being reactive.
All right. Thank you very much. We lost that caller. Keep the calls coming in. What can we do as a people, and what can the government do to reduce the number of this mentally unstable persons from the road on the streets as well? And then talking about the ones who sit around and beg and, touch people at random. What can we do? What policies? What effective policies? Because it's not like the government is not doing anything, but then how effective are these things that they're doing? The implementation of whatever policies they have on ground to reduce the number of this nuisance. 95.1 FM.
Hello, Lady West. Greetings.
Lawson, you're welcome. Good afternoon.
Yes, afternoon. Superman, I greet you.
Lawson, good afternoon.
Yeah, you see, I don't understand. Now, in every city, River State, Port Harcourt, in fact, is a big city. These days, they even call it metropolis. I don't know. That's what they call it now. CNN, when you watch CNN, they always do this sights and sound. You understand? So all of these things you are talking about are sights and sounds of Port Harcourt. After Lagos, you see, the influx of people into Port Harcourt daily is high. It's high. Everybody, everybody is looking for greener pasture within Nigeria here. Either they are moving to Lagos or they are moving to Port Harcourt. So it's high. Everybody, all the neighboring states, everybody wants to, some of them, their states are dry. So everybody wants to come into Port Harcourt. So you will see all of these things. Now, it is the duty, please underline, it is part of the function of River State government to manage all of these things. Put the blame directly where you should put it. They are expected to have built facilities that will hold these people, facilities that will keep these people where, when they get there, they send them so that they don't constitute nuisance on the road, on the street. See, let me tell you, don't like when you were saying it, I was laughing. Well, when I'm moving, two things that will make me to make a U-turn. You understand? Is car, when I see car coming and I see and I see somebody that is insane, because I was jogging towards Yenegua. We don't really have roads like that. We just have as painful as it is. We just have what they call this Indiama Yenegua road, and then one other short road they call Express, and so that's the road where everybody. So I was jogging, and as I was going, and the next thing when I turned, I saw a lady that is insane. She with different loads, now also jogging with me behind. You understand? When I turned and I saw her, I had to increase my speed. She also increased her speed. So I just quickly entered keke.
That must be very frightening.
Yeah, you understand? I just quickly entered keke.
So you do not say to defend yourself, Lassie.
Yeah, of course, you understand. And she was just always around that area moving, with government not doing anything, nobody is doing anything. Here, governance, I don't know how governance is here. All they know is maybe one or two, all of these things, it is expected that they manage them. You understand? So that the users of the streets and the roads, you understand, don't feel embarrassed. But government, the River State government, I can tell you there is no facility for to hold these kind of people. There is no facility.
Right.
Even the psychiatric hospital we are talking about, I don't even know if it's functioning right now or it's not, because I don't see the facilities there. So River State government, because it is a big city, they must build facilities, come up with policies that will also take care of all these people.
All right then. All right. Thank you.
Part of why they should spend the money. So let them do that.
Thank you very much, Lawson, for your contribution.
Kind of people are just too many.
All right, thank you very much. 95.1 FM.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're welcome, Celebes.
they are being brought from other states.
What? Okay. You said they are being brought from
time.
other states.
I'm telling you, there was the first tenor of weekend. In fact, a friend was coming from somewhere in the midnight, and he saw a lorry load of mad people, floated at that Rumola flyover. So I think it was deliberated between 2016, 17, and the Ministry of Welfare, bundled them back to their states, and it looks like a government is being relented, and they started coming back, they started coming back. Because if you watch the rate of lunatics in Port Harcourt, it's very alarming, honestly. So you start wondering, is these people residing in Port Harcourt, or where are they coming from? So I think the state government, particularly Ministry of Welfare, should try and do what they did in between 2016 and 2016.
All right.
Bundle these people back. Bundle them back to their various states. Get a lorry. When you get to your state, if you are from Abia, they drop you there. They move ahead. If you are from Imo State, they drop you there. They continue moving until they get to the north. I think that is the best way to stop this thing.
All right, thank you very much. I'll just quickly read this particular message I just saw. This one says, a woman called on Wazobia saying that a mad woman has been coming around her place for food and, food stuff generally. Along the line, she got pregnant and gave birth. The caller took her and her baby in, taking care of them. She was advised to report to the police, which she did. They took the baby from her, telling her it's government property. According to her, she said she would have loved to keep the baby. Besides, she said the mad woman asked of her baby. This is not fair. Okay. I think it's just reporting the issue of the child welfare. Well, first of all, it's very important that the government takes responsibility of that child. It's the government's property, because apparently the parent, the only seen or visible parent is not, very stable enough to raise a child. So yes, we do understand the sentiments around allowing her to raise her child, but then the government did its responsibility, which of course is a good thing. All right. This one says, in an organized society is a place where rules and regulations is being observed by all. As far as our leaders are living above the law, they would not do the right thing. Okay. All right. The truth is, here is the problem. Now, we also have family members and Nigerians such as yourself who actually send in their mentally challenged loved ones, family members, to other states. How is that even happening? Is there not supposed to be any checks? I mean, if there's a lorry load of, mad persons being offloaded someplace else. So on federal highways, we have, police stops or checkpoints along the road. Now, a lorry cannot carry it can't carry a truck full of mad persons and go unchecked. Somebody somewhere would have intercepted and seen that.
You're not sounding like you're not in this country.
No, I'm trying to think of how you would allow people or a lorry load of mad people past the checkpoint.
No, it might not be a lorry load. First, there are no clear evidence to that, but it might not be a lorry load.
No, but here's the thing: if you're carrying a mentally challenged person, right, and then you're passing the federal high road where you would definitely be stopped and checked once in a while, you have to present papers to show that you're either transferring this person from a certain psychiatric ward to another.
How many of them actually check, my lady? That's the question.
That's why it's mind-boggling that we do not have them checking, because these things are very important, very pertinent.
Although before the new man who is in charge of affairs now in defense now, Irabo, was saying, okay, no more police standing on the highway or maybe the regular roadblock and road checks. But ordinarily, once something just leaves your hand, some of them would allow you pass, even if there are few that actually check. I know of a story of a woman who actually adopted a child and was traveling to her state. On her way, they stopped her, and it was the sister who was carrying the baby, and the baby was adopted on the sister's behalf. And they stopped her and asked, this is not far away, this was just last year, and asked, where is who owns this baby? And somehow what the sister said was not too consistent. They now said, okay, you have to bring the certification that she was adopted. And because of that, they were actually taken to the station. That's
due
how it should be,
process
exactly.
anyway.
Because I tried to mention that since it came to my mind, I had to say it so it won't look like all across all borders they don't actually take it seriously. But I think most of them only collect some change and let you move.
95.1 FM.
Once again, Mazi, our David Carlon. Maybe it's a connection or the network. I don't know.
Please go on. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Like as I was saying, the Constitution of Nigeria, like they said, is copied from America. In America, as a republic, it is, I believe. It does not have what we call the emirate system of government, nor the Oba system of government. Let me put it that way, you understand what I mean. But here you have diverse system of kingship, and should I say emirate, like in the north you have the emir, in the west you have the Oba, and the east you have the Igwe.
Please just go straight to the point,
south.
Maziawa David. We do not have time.
You allow the first caller to make a statement.
I said we don't have time. We have just 3 minutes more.
Yes. Okay. What am I trying to say is this. Nobody born of a woman, a man. If you or they can tell me in a country where I can find one, where I cannot see one madman on the road, what am I trying to say? Even the madman gave birth to somebody that is.
Okay, we lost you there. That was why I was telling him to go straight to the point. See? 95.1 FM.
Yes, well. How are you?
I'm fine. Good afternoon.
Okay.
Hello?
Excuse me. But the topic here today on anything that happens in this river state, they will blame other states. So there's no mad person in this river state that they are packing them in the lorry load to drop in the river state. What kind of treatment is that? Anything that happens here, if it is so, all this is smoking and the robbery and everything that's happening in this river state, that they don't work, they don't do any serious business.
Okay, but what can the government do to ensure that people do not take this undue advantage?
What they should be thinking of, they should leave other states alone. It is too much of them.
Okay.
What kind of sentimental life and the tribalistic human beings are these? Okay. Young boys, so tell me how next generation will be. Every time Imo State, River State, Abia State,
okay,
they don't do any bad thing in this River State. Only Imo and Abia that are the cross river that used to carry mad people control.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. He said neighboring states anyway. But then thank you very much. Hopefully we get to learn and inquire more as to what we can do as a people and what the government can do as well to help us curb the number of this, nuisance that we find on the streets. Really, it's not funny. It's an eyesore sometimes, and it's very disturbing, really, especially for a state or a country that is trying to see how it would reduce the number of COVID-19 infections. We have to take responsibility for some of the small things that we think are too meager to take into account. Until tomorrow, same time, 2 o'clock, today's hustle would return. Do stay tuned as today's Spotlight comes up next.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
I am a proud Nigerian. I have been placed here by God for a time such as this.
The degradation, challenges, and problems faced by Nigeria are the perfect backdrop for me to develop and utilize my God-given potential.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Hangs it up for Ronaldo. Oh, my God.
Experience the glorious goals rush. The heated verbal jabs and
and even moments of madness. Experience the sensational swings, strokes and shots, the moments of victory and despair. Experience lights out on a majestic night in Singapore and a whole lot more.
On your premium talk news and sports radio station.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Listen to Sports Attack every weekday from 7:30 a.m. and Today Sports Live after the news update at 3 p.m. Stay tuned on Saturdays and Sundays for a bumper edition of Today Sports Live from 1 to 6 p.m. Experience sports in its entirety on your premium talk news and sports radio station. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Hello, my name is Kanu Wanko, aka Papilo. For the latest and trending sports stories, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
Time check is about 3 minutes gone past the hour of 3 o'clock, and the time is now for us to bring to you the midweek edition of Today's Sports Live, reaching you from this particular frequency today, 95.1 FM. We are the voice of the people. And right about now, we are about good, ready, set, and all in top jazz to give you a voice in the world of sports. I beg your pardon. I remain your reliable radio spokesman, the classical gentleman. My name is Reliable Reliance Odonian, and I have the Dogu one of sports. Emeka Dena joins me on the show this afternoon. Great to have you join us, Emeka.
Reliance, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to our listeners out there. It's always a pleasure to be here to talk sports. A lot of football today. Australia Open also on the menu where some of the big guns are beginning to crash out. Yes.
And I'm asking big questions this afternoon about the Australian Open. That is, should some persons find a way to quit the sport at this point in time? Well, you want to find out who that person is, don't you? You have to stick around on the show. I also have Victoria here, my favorite Melanin sports presenter, joining me as well. Victor, great to have you join us.
Thank you so much, Reliance. Good afternoon to everyone listening. Good afternoon to you as well, and of course to Emeka in the studio. It's great to be here. Just like we did state, the Australian Open already serving us some really interesting matches, and Nikirios just made me understand or made me realize how much I love him. I actually love the man. Even with his controversy and all, but I absolutely love the man. And today he had such a brilliant performance in the Australian Open. Well, we'll be getting to that shortly.
All right. Someone is already falling in love with the bad boy of tennis, Nick Kyrgios, and that person is Victor, not on the other way around anyway. All right, so the guys have given you a tip of what we'll be talking about on the show this afternoon. We'll look at the Australian Open. Big guns are already exiting the tournaments, some of them retiring, and of course some of them being beaten. We'll also look at football from the domestic scene. By the way, the Nigeria Women's Football League resumes tomorrow after 1 week suspension. Not today, I beg your pardon. Today, yeah. After 1 week suspension.
1 month, actually.
1 month, I beg your pardon. Due to failure of some clubs to comply with the COVID-19 protocols required before the resumption of the league. So we are going to be having the NWFL back, and there is going to be this big cracker over there in Akwa Ibom between Ibom Angels and Rivers Angels. Clash of the Angels, I'll tell you. And I'll also be looking at football as well from the men's aspect of it, the Nigeria Professional Football League, where some clubs have been sanctioned. Well, on Saturday, we had a discussion with the management of Heartland FC. I talked to the coach. I also talked to the general manager of the club. But here is the story. It's not still all well. This time around, there's a ban or a fine, I should say, imposed on Heartland. A little bit shameful, more like for the Nazi millionaires. But all the same, you get the details of the story. Mekadena and Victor will do justice to that one, bringing you in what is happening at that center. Last night, we saw Manchester United struggle to beat West Ham by 1-0. They had to depend on extra time to pull through to the next round of the FA Cup. And I'm asking, why is no one believing or accepting that Manchester United are beginning to struggle? Well, we have you on the other side of the show, don't we? So you can also be a part of it. Our feedback platforms are open for your taking on Twitter. We are at Today FM951. Today FM951. My handle is at Reliable Rely. Victor's handle is at Victor Oriahi. Emeka's handle is at Dena. Emeka, you can copy any of us and follow those handles as well. Drop your contribution and they'll be read live on the show. Twitter, okay, it's what I've mentioned already. SMS and WhatsApp portal is also open 0701-933-9962. You can send in your SMS and WhatsApp contributions to us via that phone number. Who wants to see General back to the Super? I beg your pardon now. Audio and Judy Gallo back to the Super Eagles. I didn't say anything. Let's get the show underway from tennis. All right, we'll bring you up to date with what is happening at the Australian Open as well. Number one, Novak Djokovic survived a fourth set test against American Francis Tiafoe to make it through to the third round of the Australian Open earlier today. I had to depend on a 6-3, 6-7, 7-6, 6-3 in 3.5 hours to book his place in the next round. And we have Novak Djokovic on the show this afternoon.
Very tough match, also difficult conditions. While we had sun on the court, it was very, very warm and a lot of long rallies. I wanna give a hand to Francis again for a great fight. The matches are only gonna get tougher, with higher seeds, opponents each round progressing in the tournament. So it's not the first time that I'm in this kind of situation. I know how to handle this kind of circumstances. But at the same time, I was fortunate to get through the third set today. It was really anybody's game, Francis.
All right, you've heard from the man, Novak Djokovic. Was a tough cracker that took over 3 hours before that one was complete. 3.5 hours precisely. It took Novak Djokovic, the world number one, to go past his man, Francis Tiafoe. Former champion Stan Wawrinka also couldn't make it to the next round as he missed 3 match points in a dramatic 5-set loss to Hungary's Martin Fucsovics. It ended 7-5, 6-1, 4-6, 2-6, 7-6. It was Fucsovics who eventually pulled through to the next round of the Australian Open. I'm going to confirm some of the results we have had since the beginning of today. As Victor mentioned, Nick Kyrgios also went through, defeating his man Humbert 5-7, 6-4, 3-6, 7-6, 6-4. It took Nick Kyrgios to pull through to the next round. And they also have Karina Busta defeating Vasily to go through to the next round 6-3, 7-6, 2-6, 6-4. In the women's singles, well, I'll call it a stroll in the park for Naomi Osaka over Caroline Garcia. Straight set victory for Naomi Osaka, 6-2, 6-3. Simona Halep had to drop the first set before eventually booking her place in the next round, defeating Tom Lijanovic 4-6, 6-4, 7-5. Iga Swiatek, recall that lady, maybe a girl I should say. It was a straight set victory for us, was 6-2, 6-4. And Venus Williams, unfortunately, was defeated. I think she was injured at some point in that particular matchup. Irani made a light work of her 6-1, 6-love. So you're not going to be seeing Venus Williams in the next round of the competition. Ons Jabbar defeated as Kemelova 6-3, 6-2. Gabina Muguruza also went through to the next round, defeating Samsonova 6-3, 6-1. So there you have it, the updates of matches played today in the Australian Open. It's like the AO Australian Open is beginning to take shape. We're having some big guns out and some of the big guns as well still waxing stronger.
Definitely. You expect that to happen at some point in the tournament, but it's happening quite early. Stan Wawrinka, the biggest casualty in the men's draw, former champion there at Australia, being knocked out earlier today. Quite a surprising one. They are going down in 5 sets right there. But be that as it may, I mean, you want to say he lost to an unheralded opponent, Hungarian Martin Fucsovics, getting that one over Wawrinka. That aside, we've seen that the big boys, so to say, they have gone through. Novak Djokovic is through, Milos Raonic, Felix Auger-Aliassime also going through. Dominic Thiem, the world number 3, a favorite for this one as well, beating someone that looks like his namesake, Dominic Kopfler, in stress 6-4, 6-love, 6-2. And we also have wins for some other big boys in quote. Denis Shapovalov, Adrian Manarino was quite impressive in his win, as well. Of course, for the ladies, I think we also have issues there. Andreescu, who hasn't played too much tennis since winning the US Open in 2019, 15 months ago, was eventually knocked out of the tournament today, quite surprisingly, by Sue of China. And at the end of the day, you think, even with the exit of Venus Williams, these days, it's no surprises. Each time she is knocked out quite early in any tournament. Recall that it was Kogov that made name by beating her 2 years ago. And at the end of the day, she's out of the Australian Open, going down in quite a shameful manner, you want to say, to Sarah Irani, the Italian, who won 6-1, 6-love. An impressive win there for Irani, the petty Italian. And we also had another casualty, Kvitova, a 2-time major winner, also booted out of the tournament. But like you said, some of the big guns are equally progressing nicely. Serena Williams is tipped to eventually go ahead to win this one and claim a 24th record equaling Grand Slam title. She was impressive. As a matter of fact, she hasn't lost up to 7 games in the entire tournament. She won 6-3, 6-love today against Nina Stojanovic, quite impressively. And of course, Gabinia Muguruza, former major winner, also going through. Osaka was impressive earlier today. And Iga Swiatek, the reigning French Open champion. You want to say this is not her best surface, but come on, we have hardly seen much of this lady, and she has achieved so much already. Winning the French Open last year and taking out her Italian opponent Camilla Giorgi 6-2, 6-4 today. Very brilliant one for her. Halep is also through to the next round. So it's gradually shaping up. Exactly.
All right, Victor, exasperating second round victory for Novak Djokovic. Would you say this will affect his performance going forward? I mean, it was 3.5 hours victory for Novak over Francis Tiafoe, and he even confessed by himself that, it's been a long while I played tennis of that nature. Would this affect his performance going forward?
No, I think it's actually going to help improve his performance going forward, because sometimes you need these type of matches in the early stages of the competition. Imagine when you are already exhausted and then you now face such an opponent. It might be difficult for him to recuperate. I think right now, having such a game, such an the intensity of the match in this particular moment, the second round, is one of the best things for Novak Djokovic. It's going to push him more. He's got to wake up and realize that, okay, listen, it's not always going to be as smooth as I think it is. Francis Tiafoe, I do not think he's one of those big names anymore when it comes to men's tennis. There was a point in time he might have been there, but right now he's not a big name.
He's one of the next gens.
Next gens, next gens, they are classes. His own class is like second class lower, second class lower next gens. So playing against Novak Djokovic, I must give it to Tiafoe, the fact that he was able to put such a fight against Novak. But for Novak, I think we're just going to see him move further into the competitions and have better results. I will wait to see his potential matches, who is going to play next, and then after that, who is going to play again. The more you go on, the tougher it gets.
Reliance, Djokovic is not new to this kind of long matches. Now, in 2012, he was involved in the longest ever final at the Australian Open against Rafael Nadal. He won that one after 5 hours and 53 minutes. You talked about the Francis Tiafoe match. It was just 3 hours 36 minutes. He's played 5 hours and 53 minutes in the past, and it was a 5-setter. He eventually beat Nadal.
That was the final.
Yeah, it was the final.
This is a second round match.
Second round match. At the final, you expect to have lost a lot already after 2 weeks. You have played 6 matches already. You're in the 7th match, and you're still playing 5 hours and 53 minutes. That's amazing. Djokovic has got it. Mentally, physically, he's one of the best out there.
I always call him the most aggressive tennis player in current history. Emeka, put this together. Isn't it time for Venus to just call it quit? I think she was injured at some point in that matchup. Isn't it time for her to call it quit from the sport? And secondly, for Serena, looks like she might just, I don't know whether I'm supposed to talk about this, the 24 Grand Slam stuff, but Just put them together for Venus as well as Serena Williams quickly.
All right, for Serena Williams, the attention is basically on equaling Margaret Court's record. She's had 4 opportunities to do so in the past, missing all 4. I mean, that means she has played in 4 finals after giving birth, after her last, giving birth to a baby, Olympia. What's her name now? Olympia Ohania. And at the end of the day, she was beaten in 4 finals going into this one. But look at how she has started the tournament on fire, like she usually start on a good day. It's still very difficult to call for Serena Williams whether she will go ahead to win this one. Yes, some of the big names are out, but we have some established names. Of course, the most recent performers are still in there. So Naomi Osaka is reigning, French Open champion. No, US Open champion.
Open,
yes, she won her second US Open title last year. She's still in there, doing quite well. Iga Swiatek, the French Open champion, is there. Ashley Barty, the world number 1,
still
is
there.
looking. She baggled her opponent the other day. 6-love.
Yeah.
It looks like she has never been away for about a year now.
She's a home girl.
Exactly, home girl. All the support will be going to her. The fans are there. Maybe not in full capacity. They all support to be going to her each time she steps out on court to play. So I didn't think it's difficult for Venus. She should have retired 4 or 5 years ago. I tell you, she should have retired like 4 or 5 years ago. Sometimes she's beginning to rubbish all the good work she has done in the world of tennis. She's a 7-time Grand Slam champion. But you look at what she's doing these days. She's been disgraced. Permit me to use that word. Each time she goes out there, crashing out of the first or second round of Grand Slam tournaments. I think she should call it quits. She's over 40 already. She'll be turning 41 later this year, and I think she has paid her dues. She should quit now that the ovation is still a little bit loud. I think she has.
I think the ovation is actually is completely silenced, and that's the thing about Venus Williams. You look at the past antecedents, how she has been getting knocked out of different tournaments at the early stages. We saw this happen in the US Open at the very first time at the Orthodox Stadium. She was knocked out by Muchova. We saw it happen in the Italian Open. We saw it happen in the French Open. We saw it happen even in the preparatory.
He's a recording.
I think it was Petra Kvitova
just quit
at the just this Australian Open warm-up, the Melbourne, Australia. I can't remember
Yara Barry Classic.
We saw her get knocked out by Petra Kvitova in the second round. I mean, when I saw that, I just knew that there's nothing to expect from Venus Williams. I think it's actually time for her to call it quits.
Should Venus Williams call it quits from the sport?
She should call it quits. She turns 41 by June. She should call it quits.
What is your reaction to that? 40. The guys in the studio believe that she should call it quits from the sport. How about you listening to us? And how about Serena Williams? She doesn't look like she's struggling at the moment. She's starting like a house on fire already. Will this be the time for her to equal Margaret Court's record? Sometimes when I talk about this, I feel like I'm heaping the pressure on the woman already, even if she might not be hearing us because she's out there, getting prepared and all that for the matchup. But we appreciate your contribution via our SMS and WhatsApp portal 0701 933 9962, Twitter at Today95.1fm, and copy any of us in the studio as we switch our attentions on the show this afternoon to discuss football. All right, quickly to a reminder that 7 matches will be decided today in the Nigeria Women's Football League. And the 5 matches that is will have Conference Queens confront FC Robo at the Lokoja Stadium. Delta Queens will battle Bayelsa Queens at the Abo Stadium, while Edo Queens host Nasarawa Amazons at the Samuel Gbamudia Stadium in Benin. In other matches, Abia Angels battle Sunshine Queens in Umuahia. Ibom Angels, I told you, would tangle Rivers Angels in Uyo Cracker of that sort. Ocean Babes take on Dream Stars of Lagos at the Oshobo Township Stadium, while Pelican Stars slug it out with Rayo Queens at the UJ Iswene Stadium, Calabas. Moving over to the Nigeria Professional Football League. Well, not good news once again for Heartland FC because
they hardly have good news.
The league management company has fined Nigeria Professional Football League at Heartland for wearing shirts that didn't display numbers, surnames, club name, and logo. I mean, the shirt they wore against MFM. The shirt they wore against MFM didn't display numbers, surnames, club name, and logo. All right, that's the clothes they wore against that. That's the shirt, that they wore against MFM on Sunday. And according to a statement by the LMC on Twitter, the act, in quote now, breached rules B9.7 to 8 for non-display of name and number on kits, and B9.26 for wearing unregistered kits of the MPFL framework and rules. A fixed penalty of 100,000 is imposed on Harlan, as well as a fine of 1 million for the breach. The statement added, the Owerri-based club are given 48 hours to appeal the sanction. The Nasarawa United team manager Solomon Babanja and Katsina United head coach Bawin Bazwaye was also reprimanded for improper dressing. The statement continued. Babanja has been charged for wearing a foreign jersey, can imagine, during a league game, which flouts C1.4 of the MPFL framework and rules that stipulate club officials must wear appropriate clothing, in bracket club branded, corporate or business attire. And that Baswai is issued with a reprimand for inappropriate dressing and is reminded to set a positive example for players as enshrined in the code for managers/coaches. The league body also added. I saw Baswai's dressing.
I was looking at that part as he was going to the club that evening.
I mean, he had this crazy jean on.
Turn on the knees.
It's called rap jean. That's what the man wore. Turn on the knee, turn it.
And an old man for that matter.
No, he's feeling young.
It doesn't matter, I tell you. He's a football coach.
Young at heart, the man is feeling. All right, Emeka, for Heartland, I've heard so many stories about that, but I'm sure you must have been briefed of the details of how the whole thing went. What I've heard might serve is that MFM refused, that there was going to be a jersey clash, and MFM refused to take on their away jersey, forcing Heartland to do what they did. So, I mean, would you say the LMC is right in this regard?
Definitely. There was a violation of the set rules by Heartland in that encounter. Obviously, they travelled with a jersey colour that would have clashed with the home jersey of MFM. MFM at home wear purple like jersey, and the jersey Heartland travelled with, I think it was blue or so. It would clash with what MFM had on the day, and they are the home side. You don't force the home side to change jersey. They wear their home jersey. Or the away side, you should wear your away jersey. And at the end of the day, Heartland did not really do their homework very well. Otherwise, they should have known that there would be that clash if they had contacted MFM prior to the encounter. Before they even left Owerri, they would have contacted MFM to know. I mean, everybody knows the MFM's home color. So you should have been able to decipher that your color they are traveling with will clash with that of MFM, and at the end of the day, they had to hurriedly run to the market right there in Lagos. When there was that clash, the Commerce Commissioner refused, and at the end of the day, MFM also did not allow that them to use that same color because it would clash. So they had to rush to the market to buy jerseys without numbers, but no, it wasn't their jersey as it were. They just had to rush. The general manager had to rush to go and get those jerseys, and eventually they started using pen to write the numbers on the back of the jerseys and what have you. No club logo, nothing, no surnames and all that. Shameful to say the least. Very, very shameful, and more like bringing our league to disrepute, if you ask me. And very, very LMC are very, very right to eventually hammer them. 1.1 million naira they will pay for that. Very heinous area, if you ask me.
That one wasn't on TV. Yeah, I'm glad it was.
But we saw pictures of it.
Yeah, we saw pictures.
Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah. The videos emerged of what happened on the day.
People will surely take pictures, that's for sure, and it's going to go viral on social media. But, Victor, how would Heartland have approached that matter differently?
Proper preparation. It's that simple. I mean, you should know that, okay, this is the home, just like Emeka stated, everyone knows this. It's clear for everyone to see.
But let's put ourselves on, how do I put it now, on the spot. We're out of the house at this point, and we're no longer in Okigwe. It's not, I mean, we are here, and match has to start. What different way would they have approached the matter?
I don't know. They should have done it from the very start.
Reliance, Heartland, they don't have only one set of jerseys.
Yeah.
Each club in the MPFL has got at least 2 sets of jerseys.
Should they be traveling with their home jerseys?
With the 2 jerseys, to be on the safe side.
But here's the thing. You're traveling away, right? And you're expected to be kitted on your away jersey.
Yes.
Yeah.
So ordinarily, you wouldn't want to go along with your home jersey, whereas you know that you're going to be the away team.
Now, if you know the away team, your away color is clashing with the home team's color. There should be a change.
At this point,
in that case, you can still use your home team jersey, and that's what they eventually used. They bought red jerseys in Lagos. Their natural jersey is their home jersey is red. They didn't travel with the red jersey. They traveled with the jersey color that would have clashed with that of MFM's home color.
Here's what I'm saying.
Now, they should have known that before they travel. They should have known that you're going to. Anybody wears blue. Rivers United cannot go to Aba with blue jersey. They have blue. they should go to Aba with white. They have white too. They have another color. You understand? So that is simple. You know that Enyimba is home team. You're playing Enyimba, for instance, you're Rivers United. You have your blue stripe, and at the end of the day, you can't go to Aba with that color. You understand? It's simple as that. It's common sense.
So there's nothing that could have been done at this sport that would have been better.
Would they have a case if they decide? I mean, they've been given 48 hours.
Trust me, they will not appeal that decision. And if they try to do so, that appeal will be thrown out immediately because they don't have any case there.
How do you wear a foreign club jersey in the Nigerian Professional Football League?
Nothing we see for the NFL. Now, they reprimanded Bazwaye, the coach of Katsina United, and the team manager of Nasarawa United, Babanja, now for wearing foreign jersey. Now, let me take you back to 2018 in Aba, when they were doing the Super 4 for NLL teams. The then coach of, what's this team from Delta State? Forgotten his name. It was Delta Force. No, not Delta Force. One of those Delta State teams. It was Bendel Insurance. Bendel Insurance. Their then coach, Moses Monday Odije. He was wearing shorts. His own was short. It wasn't trousers. He was wearing shorts, and dressing very UB like that. He was also sanctioned. Club officials should learn how to dress properly. It's all part of the branding and packaging and marketing of the league. Imagine that you have that man on television. We see their foreign counterparts. We see them week in, week out. You see how they dress. You want to even emulate them
let me find
fans,
trouble.
as a matter of fact.
We're going to switch our attention to discuss the Super Eagles in a bit before we open the phone lines, but let me find trouble a little bit. The chief scouts of the Nigerian Super Eagles was displayed on Twitter as watching the Nigeria. What LMC does these days? One of these stakeholders watching the stuff, and they would just.
It's part of the marketing
and
publicity.
Fine. The chief scout in Emeka, I saw.
So that's Tunda Delacroix.
Good. I saw Chelsea's what is it called? Is it Muffler? I'm not sure that was
Muffler.
No,
the man was
in
Chelsea before.
His room.
So,
why advertising the Nigerian Professional Football League?
He was doing us a favor, as a matter of fact. He was doing the MPFL a favor at that point.
Really?
Tunda Delacroix worked with Chelsea before as a scout. He worked with the Chelsea scouting
team. But
he's
no longer working with Chelsea.
When Emmanuel was there, you understand?
But he's no longer working with Chelsea.
He has affinity with Chelsea, so to say. He has something to do with Chelsea. A Chelsea fan, no doubt. So, in that case, he's not an official of MPFL.
He's not
at that position. MPFL cannot sanction him. They should be praising him for taking our football to foreign land. Advertising our football over there. Now, come to think of it. In the same vein, we have seen Kenneth Omero, Chidozie Awazie, all watching MPFL. You know Ahmed Musa. Were they wearing MPFL jerseys?
Well, I think the case is different.
It's not different in any way.
This one they are actively working for their respective clubs.
Tunde Adelakun was not wearing the Chelsea jersey, was he?
But he used it as per advertising the Nigerian Professional Football League.
He was in his house where he was watching it.
Yeah.
The muffler or whatever, memorabilia of Chelsea was there.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with it. He was doing us a favor.
I'm telling you,
it's not an official of
they're not paying you for this. This is advertisement that the NFC wants to use it for.
All right.
These are two different cases, honestly.
All right, guys. Two different cases the guys have said. How about you? What is your contribution? Heartland FC being sanctioned for inappropriate dressing during their match day 9 encounter away from home against MFM FC, and of course, Bawin Bazwai also fined for inappropriate dressing. If you don't know how Bawin Bazwai dressed, I'm going to put it out on Twitter. I'll drop it on my Twitter handle.
You think he's a musician?
All right.
Relax. You think the man is a musician?
Just head to Twitter right now. I'm going to drop it there so that you see.
No, but I
how
appreciate
the
his
man
dressing,
dressed.
but not for an MPFL advert anyway. I would like to dress that way one day.
All right, so head to my Twitter handle at Reliable Rely. I'm going to put it out in just a moment so you can see how the man dressed, so that when you're going to make your contribution, you're going to know where to start from. Was that so inappropriate to attract sanction from the LMC? How about Heartland FC found themselves in more like a dilemma situation? Although the guys in the studio feel they should have known, they should have done their homework properly, all right, before they traveled down to Lagos for that particular encounter. And also talk about tennis.
Even in your village match, you see teams wear jerseys with numbers at least. Not to talk of an MPFL team wearing jerseys without numbers, without surnames and what have you. Come on. You spend by the right number for jersey. Man, Heartland, they should be sentenced to jail if you don't mind. They are bringing out league to disrepute.
He doesn't really mean
every
that.
Every day, bad story from Heartland.
He doesn't really mean that.
Which kind of team
All right, so keep your contributions coming to us via our feedback platforms as we go to the newsroom to bring you the news in 60. Stick around, we'll be right back.
Today's news in 60. President Muhammadu Buhari has signed a new national cybersecurity policy and strategy of Nigeria, providing the broad framework for addressing cybersecurity. The president is to formally unveil the new document, building upon national cybersecurity policy and strategy of Nigeria. Ekiti State Government has launched coding, robotics and artificial intelligence education in public schools to prepare youths towards acquiring skills that will make them employable in the fourth industrial revolution. For IR, 12 schools from a mix of urban and underserved communities have been selected to participate in training on coding, robotics, artificial intelligence and machine learning. On the foreign scene, Microsoft Core has announced the first employee experience platform, Microsoft Viva, to bring tools for employee engagement, learning, well-being, and knowledge discovery directly into the flow of people's work. Viva is designed to help employees learn, grow, and thrive with new experiences that integrate with the productivity and collaboration capabilities in Microsoft 365 and Microsoft Teams. Today's news in 6.
All right, today's Sports Live remains the program you're listening to, reaching you from the studios of your premium news talk and sports radio station right here in the Garden City of Port Harcourt. Reliable Reliance Done is my name. Emeka Adina is right here, as well as Victor Rea here, talking about things concerning tennis in the Australian Open ongoing, big name exit, as well as those who are waxing strong and progressing to the next round of the competition. And also looking at the sanctions imposed on Heartland FC for inappropriate dressing during their match day 9 encounter against MFM, and as well as coach of Katsina United, Barwin Bazwaye, also being sanctioned for inappropriate dressing. By the way, you can go to my Twitter handle to check out the dressing so that when you're commenting, you can be properly guided at Reliable Rely. That's my handle. Rely is spelled R-E-L-Y. I just put out a tweet right now. That should be the first tweet, exception of my pinned tweet. So go to that handle and then look at that dressing and then make comment and tell us if it was right for the LMC to sanction the man or not. And there is one other man, the team manager of Nasarawa United, wearing a foreign club jersey during MPFL duty. All of them have been sanctioned by the LMC. In the meantime, let's head to the Super Eagles, and after this, we have you talk to us. All right, Super Eagles manager Kenneth Raw has once again maintained that the door is still open for ex-striker Odion Jude Igalo to return to the team. Raw said this in an interview with Super Eagles TV on YouTube. Let's listen to him.
At first, very happy that he could make a good contract. You know that he's more than 30 already, and he has to think about the time after football. But he's still very fit, and he's playing regularly in his new club, Al Shabab. It's a big club in Saudi Arabia. There is no reason not to take him in the Super Eagles if he's doing well. The question is, does he want to come back? And
all right, you've heard from Raw right there. There's no reason to take the man. The question is, does he want to come back? Raw added that no new player will, however, be invited to the team ahead of the AFCON 2021 qualifiers.
But I saw a list the other day in the majors who was fake news. So for the moment, we have our players, and it's not the best moment to bring in new players when you only have 1 or 2 training sessions to prepare a match. When you come in the first time to a team, you need a little time to adapt and to take your place in the group. So,
Super Eagles manager Kenneth Ross speaking in an official interview by the media department of the Nigeria Football Federation right there. Kenneth Ross talking about the return of Odion Jude Igalo. Is it like we are stuck with Igalo, Victor? Or it is just again a Ross thing?
I don't think we're stuck with Igalo. But then the sentiment would always come. We know how much this man has brought to Nigeria football, especially in the last, you want to say 4 or 5 years. He was the highest goal scorer in the qualifiers of the AFCON, was also the highest goal scorer in the African Cup of Nations proper, when Nigeria got the golden bronze. For Odion Igalo, I don't think the guy would want to return back to Nigeria. He's made the move to Saudi Arabia. I feel like he wouldn't return to the team. We have a certain Victor Osimhen, but then, you know, we won't be so stuck on Odion Igalo if Victor Osimhen was getting the goals. Right now, he suffered an injury. After the injury, that was why playing for Nigeria in the 4-4 draw against Sierra Leone. So after suffering the injury, I think he got COVID-19. Yeah, contracted COVID-19 as well. COVID-19. Kept him on the bench for a long time. And then when he finally got into the squad, he's not been able to make his way back into the first team. I think he's a little bit rusty. We're not seeing Victor Osimhen get the goals for Nigeria, and that is what would always count. People want to see persons that can deliver the goods, and that's why this Odion Igalo, right now, it seems like he's going to be the man that will be able to give Nigeria the goal.
Emeka, do we need new invitations in the Super Eagles setup, or we're just fine with what we have?
We should be fine with what we have. We have a team on ground already, and the coach has said he doesn't have enough time to even bring in new players, and he even mentioned fake news regarding the list of players, 8 players who talked about last time cleared by FIFA to represent Nigeria. Not fake news per se, because we didn't say the Nigerian media did not report that these players have been invited. Rather that they have been cleared to play for Nigeria. So it's up to the coach to invite them or not. So that being said, the man says there's no need for new players, and I agree with him. You can't be chopping and changing players every now and then. There's no time to even build this team. So you have a team on ground. The team, what to be asking, is the team good enough to deliver the goods?
Mecca, is quite confusing, the statement he made, because now a lot of persons have been expecting the inclusion of MPFL players in the team.
Exactly.
Now, if we're going to go by his statement, is he saying
it might not be coming immediately? Yes.
Or talking about
when the list will be released, I doubt if there will be an MPFL player. From what his statement,
exactly.
From the way I perceive his statement, I doubt if there will be an MPFL player. After all, he has not been even monitoring the MPFL closely, so to say. But
that being
said, look at the squad. He will still stick with the squad. The squad, maybe 1 or 2 invitees. Paul Onachu should be invited at least. He's been part of the team all this while. In the absence of Victor Osimhen due to injury, he has always been invited.
Osimhen is back, by the way. Featured for Napoli in
he's back, but of course he's not back with the bang. He's not in a good form. Onachu is the go-to man right now in terms of goals for his club. 22 goals or more already. And you can't keep that kind of player on the sidelines right there. So he will have a look in once again, and whether he will make it to count is another thing altogether.
All right, so it's all extra time affairs for Manchester United yesterday, as they had to depend on extra time to defeat West Ham in the FA Cup, 1-0. Many substitutes, of course, it was a substitute that eventually scored the goal. Scott McTominay came off the bench to seal the win for Manchester United in a match that saw so many struggles for the side. Bruno Fernandes came in from the bench, Edison Cavani, and all that. The starting lineup couldn't get the job done, so it was Manchester United 1, West Ham United nothing to report from them in terms of goal. And the manager of the club, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, feel it was a good thing for their mentality, because they were stretched and so should be stronger going forward.
I think them extra minutes might just give us a boost for our fitness. I think the players stood the game out really well. We are getting stronger and fitter, so of course you'd like to win in 90 minutes, but when it happened to be like this, I think to go straight to pens wouldn't be the right thing, no. Of course, going through is always the main thing in the cup, and for us bouncing back after the disappointing last kick of the ball the other day. So very pleased with the mentality, how they've reset attitude, and we're positive about going through.
Is Manchester United beginning to struggle, Victor?
Well, I don't think struggle. To be very honest, I think West Ham has been a very good team this season. David Moyes has done an incredible job with his West Ham team. The players they've brought in, and they were just that spectacular yesterday. They did their defensive duties in such an astute manner. You look at the English Premier League table, West Ham are currently 6th on the log, so it shows you that how good of a team they've been, especially with the number of goals they scored. Lucas Fabianski was fantastic, but I have got to applaud Scott McTominay. I see him as a Phil Foden kind of player. If Scott McTominay was probably playing for Manchester City, we would see him starting as the top 9 in one of the few games, as we have seen Pep Guardiola do with Phil Foden in some matches. Because when Scott goes up front, he knows how to get the goals, and coming off the bench, getting the goals for United, very well for the man. And for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think he would be thanking his stars.
All right, he has been thanking his stars ever since. Okay, so Burnley were defeated at home by FC Bournemouth 2-0. Manchester United defeated West Ham after extra time 1-0, I told you. And in the La Liga, Real Madrid defeated Getafe 2-0. In the Coppa Italia, Juventus played out goalless against Inter, and Juventus will go through courtesy of their earlier 2-1 victory at home against Inter. There are matches we expect today. Swansea will take on Manchester City. Leicester City will take on Brighton and Hove Albion. Sheffield United will welcome Bristol City. Everton will play host to Tottenham in what seems to be the match of today. In the Coppa Italia, we also have Atalanta to take on AS Napoli with Victor Osimhen, the assassin, as Mr. Mobina will call him in the Spanish Copa del Rey. It's going to be Sevilla against Barcelona. Time to have you talk to us on the show. 0817 0000951 and 0810 951. Lots have been discussed on the show. Pitch your tent anywhere you want to do. Quite talking to us right now. I've seen your SMSs and your WhatsApp messages. By the way, go to my Twitter handle if you want to see how Baldwin Bazwai dressed that attracted sanction from the LMC. 95.1.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Name and location.
The Apostle of Love, Naba, Emeka and so.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, you guys have said a lot of things, but I just want to comment on one or two.
Go ahead.
Especially on the hotline issue. I know it could be a mistake on hotline side, but we cannot blame them 100% because I am aware that MFI uses blue jersey. So if hotline went to Lagos with red jersey, it's not out of hand.
No. They didn't go with red jersey. They only bought red jersey in Lagos. They went with a color that would have clashed with MFM's purple.
Yes, I know that MFI uses blue as home jersey also. So they just decided to wear that red that day. And since they know when Heartland came with red, they should have considered them not to put them in trouble.
You're not getting it.
Heartland
did not go to Lagos with red.
You're still not getting it. The red jersey put on by Heartland FC was
the one
an
they bought
emergency. They just run into the market and bought that jersey. All right. Thank you very much for dropping bucket. We lost that call. Keep them coming through as we take your reactions on the show. And 0817 0000951 and 0810 951 phone numbers for you to call. Equally, you can send us SMS or WhatsApp message via the WhatsApp portal 0701 933 9962. The number doubles as our SMS number. 95.1.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Name, location, and contribution.
My name is Seleway. We've not looked at our goalkeeping department. We are talking about
inviting new players, okay?
With the whole the three goalkeepers we have there, I think they are not, for me, they are not good enough to man that position.
All right.
So I think what General could have done is to look for a better, goal stopper.
To add to the team.
Yes.
All right, Seleway, thank you very much. We appreciate it. We have Cyril Dumwite, veteran sport journalist based here in Port Harcourt, to talk to us on the show. Cyril, great to have you join us.
My voice to the recognized by some officials of Nigerian professional football in our club side.
All right.
Yeah, I feel very worried about the way we implement the rules. Why do you have to implement coaches who very able to work? In the past, some coaches have been punished fine. You don't reprimand, maybe you say yes, they are first-time offenders, but they should have known the rules guiding the league they play. And so, most people should be fined and not reprimanded.
Okay.
If you find others in the previous league, it doesn't make sense for you to come back now and reprimand this one. Maybe you want to say because they are first-time offenders. I think it's wrong. This is a very serious offense. Poor advertisement for our football. And principal people like coaches should not be seen as flouting the rules of the league. For Harlem FC, I don't know why the team manager should keep his job up till now. Because when you are going to camp, you know that you carry holes. The type of hole you want to go with. Everything has their color home and away. And when you want to play a particular team, you ask yourself, which color do we use at home? And which one are we using when we go there? If you do not do this homework and you only find that this is what you are supposed to do at the last minute, then you must accept responsibility for that and you should be fine. And I think Harlem FC is fast reducing the league. They are not joking here.
All right.
They don't bring people who are going for 8 months and you think they will be part of the league, and now they are dressing anyhow in the league. It's no excuse.
All right,
the team manager should lose his job.
All right.
And that's my opinion.
Thank you
very
very
much. To learn learn their lesson.
Okay. We appreciate you. Thank you very much for lending your voice on that particular one. Let's go back to the front lines and take your contribution. 95.1.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Civilian General.
Talk to us.
Thank you very much. I think if a man does well, we need to commend. I'm commenting LMC. The way, because we have been not clamoring for quality of the organization of our league of standard. And they have started with something. Look at the other time, they find Aqua United for unguarded statements made by their coach and all whatnot. And now they have come up again. I expect our brothers, people who call it or people who listen, that when these people do good, let us commend them. Because if these things are not properly done,
we're also going to criticize.
And jump inside the field and think that this is a straight match. This is a professional league. And everything we do must be professional.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your contribution. Straight to the point right there. He made it. Let's go to SMS. And, okay, the SMS portal. We have this particular message coming in from Bliss says, having a funny day in the office. I beg who? Okay, I don't want to take that part, but always in the news, he said who did something to Hotline FC. Always in the news for the wrong reasons. How can a professional club disgrace us this way? As for Bazwaye, he's a Malian. Please sending in that one. This one says, good developments. I'm Romeo from Port Harcourt. Please update me with league table. Thank you very much. I will do that. Glenn Kem says, Glenn Kem from Arlo says, please, when will Chelsea play their own FA Cup game and how true is it rumor I'm hearing about Hazard coming back to Chelsea? Well, you just said it's a rumor. So in the meantime, it remains a rumor. 95.1.
Yeah, I call back Chemical and
you need to be quickly so that we can take more reactions as possible. So 30 seconds.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, I now understood what you guys are saying. If the management of that line committed this kind of blunder, they need to be sanctioned. In fact, they need to be stopped.
Okay.
They are not qualified to be managers of that line. How can you do that kind of mistake?
Thank you very much. Let's leave it there so we can take other calls. 95.1.
Hello, Relax.
Faith, talk to us.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Please, about Heartland issues, I think they did wrong and they deserve the
punishment.
Yeah, they deserve it. But I think if I were in MFM's shoes, I think I would have done the adjustment for them, seeing that I'm in my home and the east is quite far for them to go back and change the mistake.
Yeah, they should have tempered justice with mercy, more like.
Yes.
All right, Faith, thank you very much. We are trying to squeeze in more reactions from our listeners as much as we can on Twitter. This one says, good afternoon, everyone in the studio. The match between MFM and Plateau United is supposed to be walkover for MFM because Plateau United failed to do the right thing. They are not babies, for Christ's sake. Stanley from Port Harcourt. Stanley, I actually have no idea what you're talking about. This one says, Chris from Port Harcourt says, I don't understand this Heartland. Whether the problems they have is getting into their head. I mean, is it the first time they are playing MFM, whether home and away in the MPFL, that they don't know their jersey? The league isn't professional at all. They should even deduct points from them because they played with Lagos jersey. All right, thank you very much. I'm going to take funny reactions from Twitter on the picture I put out about Bobby Basura. This one, Joseph with the handle at Jesse Steve 62 says, after a lot of laughing emoji, says, them first time come pitch. I want crazy cheese. This is absolutely wrong, and the LMC is right to sanction him. This one says, and old enough to know he'll be punished, well deserved. That's David tweeting in that one via my handle. This one says, Reliance, there is absolutely nothing wrong with this dressing now. Haba, is this why the LMC want to sanction him? No. Ifani Wadike tweeting in that one. And Okoro Gentle says, rugged coach with the handle Okoro Gentle. Well, back to the front lines to take your reactions. 95.1.
Hello, good afternoon. Reliance.
Talk to us. Talk to us. Your name and location.
I beg you, forgive Heartland. Not the country don't imagine. So imagine to do that.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. He is soliciting for forgiveness for the Heartland FC manager. 95.1 or the Heartland FC club itself. Good afternoon to you. That sounds like Simon. Let's hear you.
Even understand the whole now that I even understand Heartland, first of all, this is not the first time they are playing MFN. They are not two clubs in the league, even Heartland. And the coach eligible have been the MFN coach before. So you cannot tell me that you don't know
their club jersey, yeah.
And the secondary, just as the makeup said, before you even way that in grassroots. If you want to go to any person to play, maybe, or the one that they are playing maybe at the Electria Stadium, any person can say that you are the one that will be home to play. The other, which some of this are you going to play? So that you know the one we are coming with.
Yeah, to avoid clashing.
If at the end of the day, you don't get the two sponsors, you can go there with two sets of games, two different colors. In case, I don't know why, I mean, they should even reduct points from them, not only
sanction them. Thank you very much, Simon. Emeka, before we leave the studio and possibly take one or two more calls because we have the phone lines buzzing, the Nigerian football family has lost another monumental...
Yet another gem passed on yesterday. Issa Shofoluwe, nicknamed the Dean of Defense by late Ernest Okonkwo, the legendary commentator. He passed on after losing the battle to brain issues. Of course, at the end of the day, he's been sick all this while. Only yesterday, I had the sports minister approve money to send for his treatment and all that, but he couldn't eventually make it. Very, very sad. 40 caps for Nigeria and 1 goal. Was very rock solid in the defense for Nigeria in the 80s, in the mid-80s. And, I recall that name each time, you follow the Green Eagles then. They played when we are still called the Green Eagles, when the team was still called the Green Eagles. That name, Issa Shofoluwe, Andrew Way, Sunday Boigbe, those are the names that made the team tick then. Ademola Adeshino, Peter Rufai in goal, and the likes. I mean, it's a very big loss to Nigerian football. 1-2 many, I tell you.
Dean of Defense. That should tell you what the man was able to do at the defense line for the Green Eagles. Then let's go back to the front lines and take your contribution, okay? We lost that one. All right, we equally lost that one to our SMS portal. This one says, good day, gentlemen. My name's... Okay, I took that earlier on. It said you only read my SMS. You didn't tell me when Chelsea will play their FA Cup game. We'll confirm for you before we leave Glen Kemp. This one says, what happened to Hotline is unfortunate and should not be allowed to repeat itself again. It reminds us of what happened to the Super Eagles in 1991 in Lagos in an AFCON qualifying match against Burkina Faso. The Eagles in the first half wore shots that were cut in a zigzag manner from tracksuit trousers. Nigeria won 7-1. That match brought Finidi, the judge, I hope you meant to write to limelight. He was so impressive and provided assists for many of the goals.
I can't forget that match in a hurry. Rashidi Ekini's zone was even below his, above his knee, as a matter of fact. Ruben Agbola and the likes. They forgot their jerseys. These things happen, I tell you. And one man was responsible for that. He also forgot the team passport of the under-17 at a certain time. Steve Olarilo. It's very, 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 very pathetic situation. But of course, who cares? We won 7-1 against Burkina Faso that day.
On our water portal, this one says, good afternoon, all. I feel Odion Judy Gallo is needed in the Super Eagles. The team is inexperienced and the likes of Igalo will add so much to the team. Thank you. Your number ends with 8403. Didn't add your name. This one also says, good afternoon, guys, from Hotland. About Hotland jersey. Last season, Chelsea and FA Cup wore a jersey without names and number like the 60s, 70s jersey. None so from Woji.
Well, that was a special edition type of jersey. It was probably used to commemorate something.
All right, last caller on the show, 95.1.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Oko calling from Port Harcourt.
Dr. Oko, wrap it up for us.
Yeah, please. I want to comment on what Tanaka said yesterday by giving the team of the week to Kwara United. I don't know why. I think he should have been to Iwanya.
No, we gave it to Kwara United because if you look at the Heartland situation, the coach of Heartland used to be MFM coach, so he understands the team better.
But what I'm saying that despite all they are passing through the financial crisis, they are still able to go to MFM and pull a win. So I think that if you consider that financial situation,
all right,
we should have said, okay, because of that, let's give them team of the week.
Yeah, but they got player of the week now. Let them console themselves with that one.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, we have to draw the curtain right there. By the way, for Glen Kemp, Chelsea will be playing on Thursday against Barnsley by 9 p.m. Thank you very much for
and Imba on top of the table for the person who called to know about the table. Okay. Imba on top, followed by Rivers United. Imba 21, Rivers United 18 points.
Okay, so we appreciate your calls, your SMSs, your WhatsApp messages, your tweets. We appreciate all of them. Let's do this again tomorrow by 3 p.m. Would we? Surely we will. But 7:30 will be the time for Sports Attack. I remember your reliable radio spokesman, the classical gentleman. Victor Rahi was here. Emeka Dena was here. Have a wonderful evening and stay safe.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
We're glad to have Ambassador Nefo from the Vision Business Hub here with us in the studio. Ambassador Nefo, you're welcome.
Thank you, and good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to be here today.
Ambassador, a lot of people will want to know, what is the Business Growth Assistance Program of the Vision Business Hub all about? We notice it is rapidly expanding all over the country. So what is the program all about?
Thank you. The Business Growth Assistance Program is an international partnership program of the Vision Business Hub. We help partners to raise capital for their businesses or projects. You see, the key word is raise. Raise the funds you need for your businesses or projects over a period of time without borrowing money from anybody. Since 2016, the Business Growth Assistance Program have helped over 2,000 partners raise business capital. Here is the fact. That you have capital to start a business does not mean your business or investment will be successful. Therefore, the Business Growth Assistance Program will also provide you with mentorship program, where a team of mastermind mentors and business experts will work with you, advise you, mentor you for a full 6 months to ensure your business is successful. But listen, this mentorship will be rendered to you completely free of charge.
I believe this is a good program for such a time as this in Nigeria. But how does the Vision Business Hub make money?
Good question. We have international affiliate partners that support our program and make sure that those who need the mentorship will get it for free. We have been diligent for the past 4 years and our results are speaking.
So what are the categories of people that can benefit and how can they contact the Vision Business Hub?
You will be contacted if you meet up with the categories I will mention as follows. Do you need to raise money to start a business? Do you need to expand an existing business? Do you want to start another investment to support your current income? Do you have the project or a project that requires money to execute? If your answer is yes to any of these categories, then send yes to the number I will call shortly. The Vision Business Hub has a functional working plan to teach partners how to raise the funds they need in a period of 3 to 6 months. To top it up, because we understand that the secret to any business success is mentorship, we have committed to providing free mentorship to the first 30 people that send yes to us from this program. So if you are not among the first 30 people to send yes to us, you have to pay a consultation fee of 50,000 naira. Yes, 50,000 naira. But if you are amongst the first 30 people to text yes, our consultants will talk to you completely free of charge right at our summit. Now, for every awareness we make, we select only 30 people. That means the first 30 people from this program that send yes to the number I will call will be selected. Remember, the great Pablo Picasso said that action is the foundational key to all success. Do not hope for change. Create the change you want through action. So if you want to take action and you need help to raise funds for your business or project, then pick up your phone now and send yes to this number.
0816-208-0579.
Do not sit back and explain away what you do not understand. If you really need financial help to start a business or project, this is the time. Don't sit back and hope that life will get better. Dr. Steve Marboley once said, life will not give you what you want. It will only give you what you demand with action. The time for action, I believe, is now. So pick up your phone and send yes to this number.
0816-208-0579.
I will call it again, but if you're one of the first 30 people to respond, you will talk to our consultants to benefit from the Business Development Assistance Program. So if you'd like to understand how we can help you to raise these funds that you need for your business or project, quickly send yes, Y-E-S, to this number.
0816-208-0579. 0816-208-0579.
Our representatives will give you a call and schedule a meeting for you with one of our consultants who will guide you on how you can create the capital you desire. And then you will also get free 12 months mentorship to make sure you succeed in your venture. Albert Einstein said, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is defined as insanity. So do not continue with the mistakes of last year. Make sure you do something different this year. make sure you get mentorship this year. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again and God bless you.
Thank you, Ambassador Nefo, for sharing this business opportunity with us.
Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Good afternoon, this is the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Wisdom Opina. A federal high court in Abuja has ordered the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to unfreeze the bank accounts of 20 #NSAS promoters. Justice Ahmed Mohammed gave the ruling after both parties agreed to resolve the matter. The judge ruled that all processes filed in respect of the case are hereby deemed to have been withdrawn. Justice Mohammed also set aside November 4th, 2020 order and ordered that all the accounts of the affected persons unfrozen. The CBN had requested the court to freeze the bank accounts of Bolatito, Oduala and 19 others who participated in last year's protest to end police brutality in the country. The Apex Bank said the reason for the request was to investigate the promoters of the protest on allegations bordering on terrorism financing, among others. Staff of demonstration schools in Rivers State have decried the lack of compliance of the Rivers State government over court ruling on payment of their salaries since 2016. In a joint press briefing with the Rivers Civil Society organizations, the teachers explained the hardship they are facing, just as they pleaded with the state government to obey the judgment of the appeal court.
If you look at where we are now, it's like saying that we are almost dead. Many of my colleagues are suffering from one ailment or the other, and we are pleading with the governor that he should please, I beg him in the name of God, that he should please reconsider and pay us. We cannot fight him. We don't have any means to fight him, but we are pleading with him that he should please reconsider and pay us. Because if he doesn't pay us, we will carry our children. So we'll carry whatever we have, and we'll go to government house, and we'll live in front of government house, under the heat, the sun, everything.
For these past 5 years, extremely difficult for us to go through the challenges, waking up each day to see that you have no income. We were duly employed, went through an interview, and we were seen to be qualified. That was why we were employed. For many years, some of us put in the service of the school. All of a sudden, found that we have no income. Difficult for us to even carry on our family.
On his part, chairman of the Rivers State Civil Society organization, Enefa George Will, urged the state government to act accordingly, saying they are subunits of the federal government.
The state is a subunit of the federal government, and we expect that the Rivers State government to act responsibly, at least for one, by commencing payment of teachers' salary, as well as the arrears accrued for the past 5 years. During the period, the salaries were stopped illegally. Rivers Civil Society organizations, we are shocked that it's only in Rivers State that this policy of stopping primary and secondary teachers as we speak, the federal government is paying all their teachers in all the demonstration schools throughout the federation.
Our correspondent Sandra Kenneth reports that members of demonstration schools in Rivers State University, Ignatius Ajuri University of Education, Ken Sarawiwa Polytechnic were present at the briefing. The Rivers State government had on the 18th of February 2016 issued a directive that the names of the teachers in these demonstration schools be removed from the state's salary voucher. Justice Okobule Basam of the Rivers State High Court sitting in Port Harcourt has adjourned indefinitely a suit instituted by one Nna Okpara Iburuka and Gilbert QC against the All Progressives Congress, its National Caretaker Committee Chairman Mai Buni and the Caretaker Committee Chairman in Rivers State Isaac Abbott Obubula. The two claimants are seeking interlocutory injunction to restrain the APC from conducting the ongoing revalidation and registration exercise in Rivers State. Justice Basam adjourned the matter pending the determination of the appeal after counsel to APC, Tuduru Ede, who is the senior advocate of Nigeria, informed the court of a pending appeal and stay of proceedings of the lower court before the appeal. A correspondent Uchendu Ijowo reports that Justice Monima Danagogo of a high court sitting in Port Harcourt also adjourned indefinitely a matter by one Bariaye Nora Magin after counsel representing APC Ede San informed the court of a pending appeal and stay of proceedings of the matter. Counsel to APC explained to newsmen outside the courtroom what transpired in the two different courts, saying that the decision of the court means that they will not return to the court until the appeals are disposed. Also, one of the counsels to one set of the claimants in the matter, Luke Patrick, said they could not oppose the information by the defendant's counsel before the appeal had been entered. It is the expectation of members of local vigilante groups in Emowa, local government area of Rivers State, to be recalled by the Emowa Council Chairman Tom Alizi to continue their operations in the area after filling the conditions by the council chairman and security agencies in the area. Security agencies and other stakeholders had called for a security stakeholders meeting with members of the local vigilante groups after the disbandment. The stakeholders at the meeting had directed that members of the local vigilante groups should submit themselves for profiling with their photograph and details at the council secretariat. One of the leaders of the OSPAC in the area, Ohaka Obisike, who is the chief security officer of IBA OSPAC, told our correspondent after leading his team to comply with the directive that the action of the council chairman is in order, but stressed on the need for them to be recalled.
Actually, what has happened is a very welcome development, and in case anybody that commits any offense, so that government will verify the person. Yes, I have released my people. My people, they have done everything. They have done everything. Actually, if you watch out now, why we need us back to come back? Actually, the court boys, the Iceland group and court boys went to the market, began doing things massively, carrying guns. You know, people are not freely moving in a domain of their going to travel as normal is supposed to be. The unity came and shot. When they shot, all of them run away from the area. We work with army and police. We work with them. That is our superior. We work with them. I'm expecting the council chairman to immediately restore OSPAC back so that OSPAC can tackle, because now those boys are warming up, knowing that their OSPAC is no longer there. So within a short time, if OSPAC will not come back, you see what is going to happen.
Residents of communities in Emowa local government area are living in fear since the disbandment of OSPAC following the killing of Chikweri Mebu less than 24 hours around the Ndele axis of the East-West Road. On the foreign scene, South Africa is considering swapping or selling the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine against coronavirus. According to the health minister, plans to use it to vaccinate health workers have been put on hold after a small study suggested a minimal effect against the country's new variant in young people. It is intending to use a vaccine from Johnson & Johnson instead. South Africa has 1.5 million doses of the AstraZeneca jab. And that was the news update on Today 95.1 FM. Do not forget, take responsibility, wash your hands frequently with soap on the running water. Avoid touching your face and high contact surfaces to prevent coronavirus. Good afternoon, I am Wisdom Obina.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
It all begins with breaking news.
Now make no mistake, this is a difficult mission, and it will remain difficult for some time.
Then it keeps trending. Events, issues, personalities, all struggling to gain attention. But in the race for deadlines, the intrigues, power play, undercurrents are often missed or underreported.
Insecurity here is basically a product of poverty.
But not anymore. As the platform on radio steps in to fill the missing links on events, issues, and personalities in the news.
I'm not afraid of anybody.
Yeah! The platform on radio serves all the hottest topics and trending issues. Only on Today 95.1 FM. 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. Every weekday at 4 p.m. Get on the platform on radio and be served.
All stands, greet.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. You're welcome to Jagbajantis High School. My name is Sound Sultan, your new mathematics teacher. By the way, do you understand Pidgin English? Yes, sir.
Okay, now what we go use henceforth?
Okay, carry your paper. Carry your paper. Hey. Fem for my class. People of this world, them plenty. Hey. The sins of this people, many. So many. Many times plenty, multiplier. Many times plenty, multiplier. Multiply am the answer you get now waiting they make poor man they cry. The answer you get now waiting they make rich man they mess and leaders they lie. The answer you get now waiting they make young boys and girls join party gang. Answer you get now waiting they make innocent man rot inside the jail. Get it. And then agree to grant and bail. Get it. Everybody, oh yeah, join Jambajantis, make we solve mathematics. We did our continent, so in both say about mass, we go use take solve mathematics. So follow Jambajantis. So ya Caribbean, be for brotherhood. Love your neighbor as yourself, oh for objectivity, be objective, for democracy. Now M for modification
of our behavior, let's stand to the savior.
A accountability.
If you've been a chop money, I beg you take time easy.
S for solidarity.
United is time divided, oh my shell.
We enter new millennium. Nigerians like 120 million. What gone? One population of 6 billion.
6 billion.
Divide that 1 by 120 million altogether. Oh yeah.
Altogether.
The answer you get now waiting they make people they jar. Come on for Niger. Answer you get now waiting they make people want travel. By hook or by crook. The answer you get now waiting they make people they sleep for embassy for visa. Answer you get now waiting they make people they sell them property for ticket. Get it. Then we travel see. Get it. Oh, hey. Everybody, oh yeah,
join Jambajantis, we solve mathematics.
We did our continent, so
you both say about mass,
we go use take
solve mathematics. So follow Jambajantis.
So ya Caribbean, be for brotherhood.
Love your neighbor as yourself,
oh for objectivity.
Be objective, gentlemen, ladies.
Be for democracy.
No matter how bad it is, better military.
M for modification
of our behavior, let's turn to the savior.
A accountability.
If you've been a chop money, I beg you take time easy.
S for solidarity.
United we stand and divided, oh my shell.
You just the HSCity.
Shut it go.
And there's the VG City.
Shut it go.
Right go level for HSCity. Rich man gonna be VG City. You try add AJ and VG City all together, oh yeah.
All together.
The answer you get now waiting they make rich man oppress and then suppress. The answer you get now waiting they make poor man depress. But then aggress. The answer you get now waiting they make poor man they try to keep up with the Joneses. Answer you get now waiting they make poor man begin. They try to prove a limit. Get it. Never get money then they finish. Get it. Oh, hey. Everybody, oh yeah,
join Jambajantis, solve mathematics.
We did our continent, so
you both say about mass,
we go use take
solve mathematics. So follow Jambajantis.
So ya Caribbean.
Situation in this nation, disposition, our condition, unexplainable pain. In our hearts violence, not to mention brothers killing brothers, full of patience, salvation, resolutions are made, but always made with lack of vision. Imperfection is the order as we keep seeking solutions. Only God can solve this mathematical equation.
Thanks for your contribution. Now, any more questions?
It all begins with breaking news.
Now, make no mistake, this is a difficult mission, and it will remain difficult for some time.
Then it keeps trending. Events, issues, personalities, all struggling to gain attention. But in the race for deadlines, the intrigues, power play, undercurrents are often missed or underreported.
Insecurity here is basically a product of poverty.
But not anymore. As the platform on radio steps in to fill the missing links on events, issues, and personalities in the news.
I'm not afraid of anybody.
The platform on radio serves on the hottest topics and trending issues. Only on Today 95.1 FM. 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. Every weekday at 4 p.m. Get on the platform on radio and be served.
Where we are now, it's like saying that here we are almost dead. Many of my colleagues are suffering from one ailment or the other, and we are pleading with the governor that he should please, I beg him in the name of God, that he should please reconsider and pay us. We cannot fight him. We don't have any means to fight him, but we are pleading with him that he should please reconsider and pay us. Because if he doesn't pay us, we will carry our children. So we'll carry whatever we have, and we'll go to government house, and we'll live in front of government house under the heat, the sun, everything.
For these past 5 years, extremely difficult for us to go through the challenges, waking up each day to see that you have no income. We were duly employed, went through an interview, and we were seen to be qualified. That was why we were employed. For many years, some of us put in the service of the school. All of a sudden, found that we have no income. Difficult for us to even carry on our family.
If you look at where we are now, it's like saying that here we are almost dead. Many of my colleagues are suffering from one ailment or the other, and we are pleading with the governor that he should please, I beg him in the name of God, that he should please reconsider and pay us. We cannot fight him. We don't have any means to fight him, but we are pleading with him that he should please reconsider and pay us. Because if he doesn't pay us, we will carry our children. So we'll carry whatever we have, and we'll go to government house, and we'll live in front of government house under the heat, the sun, everything.
For these past 5 years, extremely difficult for us to go through the challenges, waking up each day to see that you have no income. We were duly employed, went through an interview, and we were seen to be qualified. That was why we were employed. For many years, some of us put in the service of the school. All of a sudden, found that we have no income. Difficult for us to even carry on our family.
Now, that was the voice of some teachers from the Demonstration Secondary School appealing to Governor Nyesom Wike to pay them their 5 years arrears. It is 19 minutes gone past 4 o'clock, and you're welcome to another exciting edition of the Platform on Radio, where we get to talk about and slice up trending issues with correspondent reports. I'm Wealth Wilson, and I shall give you insights into some of the news report making rounds. Now, without much ado, what do we have for you on the menu today? Rivers State falls among 25 other states that failed to attract foreign investment into their state last year, 2020. That's not so much of a good news, but we'll talk about it. Staff of demonstration schools in Rivers State call on Governor Nyesom Wike to comply with appeal court's directive to pay them their 5 years' salaries, and Federal High Court in Abuja urges Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to unfreeze bank accounts of 20 #EndSARS promoters. Now, Rivers State did not attract any foreign investment into the state economy throughout last year, 2020. This is contained in a capital importation report recently published by the National Bureau of Statistics. The report, which details the value of fresh investment that flowed into the Nigerian economy in 2020, listed 25 other states that failed to attract foreign investment into their states. Now, the other 25 states include Bauchi, Bayelsa, Benue, Borno, Cross River, Delta, Ebonyi, Edo, Ekiti, Enugu, Gombe, Imo, Jigawa, Katsina, Kebbi, Kogi, Kwara, Nasarawa State, Ondo State, Osun State, Oyo State, Plateau, Taraba, Yobe, and Zamfara states, respectively. Nigeria's commercial city, Lagos, attracted $8.31 billion in investments, representing 85.7% of the total capital inflow into the country. And somebody will tell me, why shouldn't they go to Lagos? Let me hold my peace and continue. Abuja emerged second top investment destination with $1.27 billion, while Abia State came in third with $56.07 million. Now, we have to somewhat apologize to Abia State because we keep underrating activities going on there. Now, top 5 destination of capital investment in Nigeria 2020 went to states like Niger, Ogun State, Anambra State, Kaduna, Sokoto, Kano, Akwa Ibom, and Adamawa states. Top 5 destination of capital investment in Nigeria. Now, out of 65 countries that invested in Nigeria, the United Kingdom emerged as its top source of capital investment in 2020 with $4.17 billion. Let's talk about this. Yes, let's. Now, can we attribute this to the negative impact of the coronavirus pandemic on the world economy? Because if we're going to say, oh, all right, Rivers State did not have, these investments as we mentioned. It wasn't included in all of the states that we had mentioned. What about the other states that got investments, capital investments? I mean, states like Abia, states like, even Lagos attracted $8.31 billion investment. Abia State attracted 59.07 million. All in dollars. Abuja, 1.27 billion. Capital investment, top 5 destinations. Niger State, Ogun State, Anambra State, Kaduna, Sokoto, Kano, Akwa Ibom, and Adamawa states. So can we really say that this is as a result of the negative impact of coronavirus? Maybe it could have been more, but then let me get to hear from you. Now, do we just say that the current administration in the state is not just doing enough to attract foreign investments into the state? Another question that should bother Rivers people is why the Rivers State governor is yet to visit countries like China, Dubai, Germany, and other leading economies of the world, just like his counterparts in states like Lagos, Abia, Ogun, Kaduna, even Akwa Ibom State. The rest of them have done so, somewhat pushing investment into the states. That's what is expected of government and government development. But let me hear from you. I'm done with ranting. 0817-0000951 or 0810-9510-951. Please send in your messages to the number 0701 9339 962. 95.1 FM. Hello? All right, we lost but callers. Please do well to call. The phone lines are still very much open. Why did Rivers State why is it not part of the states that drew investment or dragged foreign investments to itself, to herself? There are other states who did, got 1 or 2 investors into different sectors. And you're asking yourself, why is Rivers State not part of it? Is the government not doing enough? Is it because of the coronavirus? What could be the reason? 95.1 FM. Why do I keep? Please, I hope this is not network playing a fast one on me. 0817-000951 or 0810-9510-951. 95.1 FM. Hello? Okay. 95.1 FM?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
This is Elder.
You're welcome, Elder.
You see, I think when I listen to your ranting, it baffles me. Because with the construction of flyover, flying left and center, I thought with that alone, the government of Rivers is attracting more investment. I'm even dumbfounded to hear that Abia State, that everybody are belittling what happened to Ross Ford.
And I mentioned that we should stop looking down on Abia State, really.
I'm surprised. I even see them to be the king of the eastern states. I've seen it. Well, I think what's going on in Rivers is politics. Because the politics of Rivers State is becoming, it's something else I wouldn't want to mention on air. Thank you.
All right. Let's get to listen to the next caller, 95.1 FM.
Good evening.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I'll see you in the afternoon. Okay. It looks dark here.
I hear it's raining outside.
It has not started on my side.
Okay.
Okay. I am thinking, I may not be certain, that River State has some security problems.
Security?
Yes. Where you have every time kidnapping, every time curfew.
But River State did see a drastic decline, like reduction in the number of, insecurity and criminality in the state. We did see and record a drastic reduction in that. Yeah, so maybe away from, states like Kaduna that has, issues of Boko Haram and having people being sacked from their, communities, had investments.
My dear, if you demarcate your own, you're always talking negative of your government, negative of the national government where you belong to. River State is a part of Nigeria. And you say there is no Nigeria, demarcate Nigeria, everything about the federal government is negative, zero. Then, where are they looking at? Where are they coming to? They will come to Nigeria first before coming to River State. If you say there's nothing like good thing that comes out of Nigeria, then what of you? Sheep, when they urinate, they think that they are doing the owner of the barn.
All right, so bottom line is that we are demarcating River State.
Yes.
So it's scaring away.
Demarcating River State. That's the problem.
Okay, all right then. Thank you very much for your contribution. Well, he said that it's not a matter of coronavirus here. It's a matter of the people, the indigents, the people within the state, selling the state for nothing good. So that pretty much is scaring off investors. But then let's get to hear from you. 95.1 FM.
Lady Wells, greetings.
Welcome, Lawson.
Rivers people should not be surprised, or Nigeria generally, or adapt statistics now, because investment don't just come. It doesn't just come and drop or fall on your lap. No, you have to make effort. You have to make your environment attractive. You have to come up with things that are attractive, that can attract them. You have to do something that will attract them.
Something like what? Something like what?
Yeah, enabling environment. You must create enabling environment. You understand? You must create enabling environment. And then you must also attract them with maybe free tax, free this and all that for them to come. You also have to travel out to approach them. You understand? You have to travel out to approach them. You Lagos State, they are always out of the country doing one thing or the other, getting one or two things. So in River State, none of that has been done. The government is not even interested in investment. They are not, because I think maybe they are spoiled. River State is rich, because at the end of the month, because of the oil and gas and everything they have, they normally have the highest allocation when it comes to the revenue. It comes to them internally generated. Not that they are making any effort. Companies are there in so much that, you understand, the revenue internally is also coming to them. So,
okay, so the government, bottom line is the government is not doing enough in terms of marketing. The
government has done absolutely nothing to attract any kind of investment.
All right, Lawson.
Underline, they have not done anything to attract. They are not even interested because they have money. That's the thing. So, you know, the River State government most times people say when, them not bringing out their documents, financial documents for people to scrutinize and all that. I said they don't need all those money. River State don't need those kind of money. The governor has been saying that. So, luckily for them, they have all of that, you understand, to spend. So I don't think they are looking for any investment. That's just the simple truth.
All right. Thank you for your contributions there. 95.1 FM.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yes.
You're welcome. Welcome, please.
Yes, the truth of the matter is that in the state there is no transparency in everything we do. River State is basically politics, cover up like China and cultism. There's nothing to show in this part. There's no transparency in the budgeting processes. River State cannot access the budget. Don't forget, last month they brought about people who the central bank gave grants because of transparency in all the processes. River State also lost out over how many billions of naira. So I'm not surprised. Not surprised because
so the problem is with the accountability and transparency of the system.
Oh, yes, the system is too close.
All right.
Security says, I pray that God will help us to change and repent as we progress in this 2021. That's my prayer, so that we can attract foreign investment and investors to this state to grow the economy and to empower Rivers people and Rivers youth. Because we lack jobs. There's no job anywhere. People are hungry for jobs, and there's poverty in the land. Don't forget, Rivers State was among the poverty a state of the nation. So it's a sad commentary to Rivers people. So everybody needs to be on deck, knees on ground to pray for God to intervene and turn the heart of the government to do the right thing. Accountability, openness, and transparency is the watchword of any government that will attract foreign investors into the state. Thank you.
95.1 FM.
Hello, good evening, Red.
Good evening, you're welcome.
Chima, calling from Port Harcourt.
Welcome, Chiba.
Red, how can River State get foreign investor when you have some hard-looking boys who dive into people's car at every given time, every junction? You see these boys. How will investors come? So that is one of the things. Now, River State, they have paid to tackle tax system in this case. You understand? Now, I'm in the private sector. Government came up with a single ticketing system to collect a tax from the motorists. But today, that is not working in River State. You understand? So this is one of the things. River State government, they are just nonchalant, doing nothing. So when investors see this, how can they come? You see somebody stand at somewhere at the junction who is looking for a vehicle to apprehend and make them pay. You understand? So this is what's happening in River State. Investors can never come, and the government does not care. That is the issue. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much for your contribution. I think we'll take two more calls and then we move on to the next issue. Let's give out the numbers for the messages, SMS and WhatsApp. 0701 9339 962. To call in, 0817 000951 or 0810 9510 951. 95.1 FM.
Yeah, well,
good evening, you're welcome.
Yes, let me go straight to your question. I think what you said has attracted sympathy. Everybody wearing jeans. That's we are wearing jeans now. So all of us in River State, that's what the only thing that they have attracted.
Okay, so in essence, we haven't been able to put anything right to allow for investorship. Maybe the government traveling out or even making an enabling and stable environment for them as well.
Yes, exactly. That is what I'm saying. Not if it is politics, they will rank us number one. But if it is your other business or in terms of business and all the rest, it's zero. We are nowhere to go.
All right. One more caller, and then we move on from this particular issue. 95.1 FM.
Good afternoon.
Good evening. You're welcome.
Marcia David Carlo.
You're welcome.
Yes. To me, well, it is clear written in the wall. What am I saying? Take a look at Slaughter, Rumokoro, Ikoko at some certain time, where the governor locked everything up, not minding the affairs of those entrepreneurs. That shows that he lacked the experience of entrepreneurship, or should I say, investment. If you take a look at the way people have been languishing, being locked up during that COVID-19, it shows you, okay, why is it that I just say, like I buy a loan, it's enough to prove to you that that is a entrepreneurship avenue for the people. You see now, it was rated higher than Port Harcourt. Hello?
Please go on. I'm listening to you.
Yes. So what am I trying to say in conclusion is this. It is because of the governor's attitude or his own system of governance that makes Rivers State behind in terms of marketing, or should I say capital investment. Not obeying only the answering the name on treasure base of the nation. It's just a name being given to them. But they lack the system, or should I say, or the wisdom of entrepreneurship. Thank you very much.
All right, then. Let's quickly move on because of time and talk about staff of demonstration schools. Staff of demonstration schools in Rivers State have decried the lack of compliance of the Rivers State government over court ruling on payment of their salaries since 2016. Now, in a joint press briefing with the Rivers Civil Society organizations, the teachers explained the hardship they're facing just as they pleaded with the state government to obey the judgment of the appeal court. Let's get to listen to the teachers.
If you look at where we are now, it's like saying that here we are almost dead. Many of my colleagues are suffering from one ailment or the other, and we are pleading with the governor that he should please, I beg him in the name of God, that he should please reconsider and pay us. We cannot fight him. We don't have any means to fight him, but we are pleading with him that he should please reconsider and pay us. Because if he doesn't pay us, we will carry our children. So we'll carry whatever we have and we'll go to government house and we'll live in front of government house under the heat, the sun, everything.
For these past 5 years, extremely difficult for us to go through the challenges, waking up each day to see that you have no income. We were duly employed, went through an interview, and we were seen to be qualified. That was why we were employed. For many years, some of us put in the service of the school. All of a sudden, found that we have no income. Difficult for us to even carry on our family.
Now, on his part, chairman of the Rivers Civil Society Organization, NFR George Will, urged the state government to act accordingly, saying that they are subunits of the federal government. Let's listen to him.
The state is a subunit of the federal government, and we expect that the Rivers State government to act responsibly, at least for one, by commencing payment of teacher salary, as well as the arrears accrued for the past 5 years during the period the salaries were stopped illegally. Rivers Civil Society Organizations, we are left, they are shocked that it's only in Rivers State that this policy of stopping primary and secondary teachers of, as we speak, the federal government is paying all their teachers in all the demonstration schools throughout the federation.
Now, our correspondent Sandra Kenneth reports that members of demonstration schools in Rivers State University, Ignatius Ajuri University of Education, Ken Sarowiwa Polytechnic were present at the briefing. As you may know, the Rivers State government had on 18th of February 2016 issued a directive that the names of the teachers in these demonstration schools be removed from the state salary voucher. Now, the demonstration school won the state government at the industrial court and at the appeal court, but the state government is still unwilling to comply. The solution seems simple. If the government feels reluctant to pay the demonstration teachers, then they should return them back to their employees, who are the tertiary institutions, rather than abandon them without their due salaries. So we're going to get to hear from you soonest what you think or what you make of the whole situation. I mean, time and time we've seen state government and even federal government not comply with, court rulings, especially when they do not favor them or, work in line with what they had first of all initiated. But then we'll get to hear from you. We have here with us Sandra Kenneth and Ifunaya Obemendokwe. Good evening to you guys.
Good evening, Wealth.
All right, so let's get to hear about this. It's been pending since 2016, February 18th, 2016. And apparently, till date, the government is yet to comply with the ruling of the Industrial Court and Appeal Court. So what seems to be the situation? What is the government saying at this point in time? Is it like a deliberate action by the government to overturn, will I say overturn, or probably ignore the ruling of the court? Or are they still trying to get another judgment on this matter?
Okay, let me just say I came here to give an insight to the whole issue. So before people start calling in, they get to understand what the issue is. So these teachers were employed as staff of the universities. And their employment letters, their ID cards, indicate that they are staff of the universities.
Okay.
But then the previous administration suggested that they be redeployed to the universities, so the universities start taking care of the secondary school, so the state government doesn't pay. But then the immediate administration came in, and probably he heard, probably from some persons already in the civil service, that this is what is going on. So the governor came in and stopped their payments. The issue is these schools, they pay their school fees. The students from these schools, they pay their school fees, but then the school fees isn't remitted to the state government. But then the secondary school teachers are paid by the state government.
Okay.
Now, the issue is, it's not that what the state government did is wrong for them to question, what is going on. But then the issue is that he's punishing the wrong people. These teachers were employed as staff of the universities.
Okay.
So what they were asking for is redeploy us. If you want these secondary schools to start afresh, they can start afresh, but then they have to employ fresh teachers. We are already staff of the universities. But then the governor came in and said they are not his staff. But the funny thing is, the non-academic staff, in these secondary schools, they were all retained.
Oh, okay.
They are retained as staff, but then the teaching staff were left, they stopped paying them since 2020. So it's kind of funny. It's very funny that the governor sees the non-academic staff as his employees, but then the teaching staff as not his employees.
But then with the court judgments that they've gotten now, why is it taking so long for the government to comply? At least the court has now compelled them to do so.
At least the court has compelled them to do so. And this happened about 3 months ago, October 2020, where the appeal court struck out the whole issue. And before that, the National Industrial Court also gave some ruling, which included that the teachers' respective employment are valid because they have statutory protection. And they also said that the governor or state government directive to stop salaries unlawful, null and void. But if we have to be fair to Rivers State government, I think it is not totally wrong that he is demanding for these things to happen the way they are happening. I think generally what should be done right now is to question all these universities' administration. They should question them. Fine, these other teachers are suffering, but I think other steps need to be taken, especially from the Rivers State government.
Okay.
I mean, the student pays school fees, and this school fee does not get to the state government. I know this thing has been happening over time, where you have to pay, the state government will have to pay them. But right now we are saying we want to know where the school fees are going to. If it is taxes, we expect the school to pay taxes to us, and then from there we can pay. We know you are our staff, but we have to know what is happening. So at the moment they are saying it's 5 years now. It is 5 years since they stopped paying them. So the thing right now is, okay, pay us for the 5 years, and whatever thing you want to do from that point, you can do it. Yeah.
But I think the simplest solution, as mentioned here, is just re-employing them or bringing them back into the payroll of the government.
Now, I think the best thing is that they're already staff of the universities.
But not on the payroll.
They were on the payroll until 2016 February. They're already staff of the universities. They are employees of the state government. Redeploy these teachers, from these schools to the universities. If you want these secondary schools to start afresh, if you want the universities to take care of the secondary schools, redeploy these teachers and employ fresh teachers and start afresh. Now you know that the universities are in charge of the secondary schools, the universities are in charge of the primary schools. I think that's not too much. Some of them, they've given their lives 30-something years, 20-something years of service in this school, and it's beginning to seem like they did it for nothing.
All right, let's open the phone lines and get people's reaction on this one. 0817-00000951 or 0810-9510-951. Please send in your messages to the number 0701-9339-962. Let's get to hear from you now. All right, we lost that caller. Please keep the calls coming in. We're talking about the demonstration school, and we're asking, what is the possible solution and your reaction to all of this? 95.1 FM.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and where you're calling from?
My name is George. George, calling from Romeo community in Odeginson. I want to sympathize with those teachers, and I know what they are really suffering about. These people have been shouting demonstration secondary school. In Delhi, several people, ISS, people have been shouting. Please, we are pleading with the governor of the state. Please, you're a father, so you're a father. And if you are a father, you cannot provide for your family. Do you want these people to go and see what is going to be their fate of their children? Will they go to school again? Will they have their daily incomes again? I think, Governor, I don't know how your policy is not really friendly to these people. Please make it possible for your policies and other things to be friendly to River State government, to River State people.
All right,
we are pleading. These people have been calling several years, and we have been just looking at them as if they don't have anything to do. Please, if he doesn't want it, you people should go to government house with your children so that it's going to feed you people there. Peaceful protest, I think that should be the best thing to do.
All right, then. Hopefully it doesn't degenerate to the point where protest is the only thing that would get the government to act or see reasons with them. Keep your calls coming in 0817-00000951 or 0810-9510-951. 95.2 FM. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Comrade Boma. Please, I sympathize with our mommies and daddies who are teachers from the sector institutions that have been denied of their salary. You may recollect that even that 26th February, the state governor has held and refused to pay civil servant 1 month salary from 2 months. In that 16th February to date. So what we are saying is that we are pleading with the governor to show mercy. Nobody has power to fight the governor. The governor should be a statesman, a father to everyone. He's a father to the judiciary. He's a father to the court. Let him also be a father to the civil servants and to the teachers. They can't prove him. If you agree with me that even today, the teachers are the least paid workers in River State. In fact, the civil servants are the least paid workers in River State. So let him also show direction, show love. In fact, this month is a month of love. Tell the governor to show civil servant love. He denied civil servant December festive period of at least giving them 13 months salary. Even largest, which Governor Peter Odele was doing, he came and saw it and he didn't continue. So we want the governor to show civil servant love in this field of love. Please help us beg him to show mercy. Anywhere we have wronged him, let him show love. Our parents are working for his parents.
All right.
Protecting. Please let him show us love.
Thank you very much. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Hello, Lady West.
Good evening.
Yes, I'm Chima.
Welcome, Chima.
Yes, Lady West, I think it's unfortunate, and our governor, who is a lawyer, is paid to adhere to court order. You understand? I think the governor wants the law has said it as clearly. The people, they went to court. They didn't just come out and take laws into their hands. They went to court. And why are you punishing the wrong people? I mean, go and find out where this money is going to. The student, they pay school fees, and the student is not getting to the River State government. It behooves on the government to make its investigation and punish the people who this money is going to. Why do you want to remove food on the mouths of people because you have the power to do so? I think we should reconsider so many things, because prosperity will definitely pay.
All right,
Thank you very much.
All right, Chima, thank you very much for your contribution. Because of time, we have to move on now and talk about NSAS. You know, this so many stories surrounding the NSAS movement protest anyway. You remember that some accounts were frozen? Well, a federal high court in Abuja has ordered the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to unfreeze the bank accounts of 20 NSAS promoters. Justice Ahmed Mohammed gave the ruling after both parties agreed to resolve the matter. The judge ruled that all processes filed in respect of the case are hereby deemed to have been withdrawn. Justice Mohammed also said, aside the November 4, 2020 order, and ordered that all the accounts of the affected persons be unfrozen. Now, the Central Bank of Nigeria had requested the courts to freeze the bank accounts of Bolatito Oduola and 19 others who participated in the last year's protest to end police brutality in the country. The Apex Bank said the reason for the request was to investigate the promoters of the protests on allegations bordering on terrorism financing, amongst others. So now, quickly, what do you make of the judgments by the court and the decisions of both parties? 0817 00951 0810 9510 951 95.1 FM.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is Lugaman calling from Eche.
Welcome, Lugaman.
Yeah, I first of all sympathize with the workers. What is really happening, I've done well by asking CBN to unfrozen the account of those people. But I'm using this medium again to warn them not to embark on anything like strike, anything like protest anymore, because protests have not done us anything good. You can remember, because of protests, a lot of goods, a lot of things went higher, and up to today, those things have not even come down again.
All right, so they shouldn't shouldn't involve in any protest anymore.
Yeah, I'm advising them not to go on with any protest anymore.
All right, thank you.
That's my stand. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. 95.1 FM.
Hello, good afternoon, my sister.
Good evening, you're welcome.
My name is Professor Ekita. I'm calling from United States of Allah.
Welcome.
I think I will give kudos to the court that unfrozen these people accounts. The only thing that I want to tell the people is that if there is any other process that want to come out, I think there is a process that somebody need to go before they embark on that protest. Because for this country, I see that we don't have rights to protest for our rights in this particular country again. Because we see many protests that people are fighting for their own rights. Some military will go there to go and shoot them here and there. So to me, any protest, we just need to started watching this our government to know where they are carrying us go, where they are carrying us go, and where they are going to land us. So that is just my advice.
All right,
Thank you very much.
All right, 95.1 FM.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Hello, good evening.
Oh, good evening. Sorry, fellow West. Talking about the teacher. They've gone to court, and court gave them a verdict, and the verdict was not obeyed. They should go back to the court and tell the court that the verdict they gave them, the person refused to honor it.
Well, let's stay on this particular matter we're talking about now.
And I just want to comment about the teacher issue. And their correspondent did not even get to the government to come from them. At least let the government officials speak too. No, they should go to either Commissioner of Education or Information. Let us from them too. You don't judge matter by one-sided. So let us hear from the government and compare it.
But you did hear her mention the government's position on this particular matter. So I don't know what else you wanted to hear.
He didn't put any government official.
All right, Celeste. 95. Oh dear. We lost that caller. Please do well to call back. Let me quickly read some messages while we are waiting on the calls. This one says, okay, that message is not for us. It says, hi, Wealth Wilson. There is this report that Rivers State government brought Shell. Okay. Well, I'd have to confirm, yes. I'd have to confirm quickly. Once I do, I would let you know. I'd have to confirm, all right? This one says, my contribution is that always hear from the two parties. As those people are in the studio, I expected them to get information from the Commissioner of Education and Information. All right. Easy. This one says, I am a teacher, but the truth has to be told. How can you work for Mr. A and run to Mr. B for payment? Where is our common sense for crying out loud? Today, everybody is blaming the governor, even when the reasons are obvious. And that's coming from Reverend I.E. Mwaugu from Rumekpe. Okay. Let's quickly check what we have on the WhatsApp portal because of time. This one says, good evening, Wealth. I sincerely join faith with the demonstration school teachers to appeal to the state government to pay them their arrears or whatever, because these teachers have families to take care of. Some of them in school. Some of them, the school is their only source of income, and that's coming from Round Face and Rumekani. And then you also say, God bless you for this topic. It is a very simple thing to bring in investors to Rivers State, give them tax-free for a period of time. It will get large number of investors to Rivers State and a large number of people to be employed. General Round Face from Rumekani, okay? This one says, good evening, Wealth. They, the governor's supporters, will dispute your report. Unfortunately, they will not even have evidence. All they know is to discredit the federal government. Like Rivers State is not in Nigeria. Governor Nyesom Wike is a very good politician. But that is where it all ends. No administrative discretion, no empathy. I think the governor is still feeling good being the #1 man in the oil-rich state. And you say it's a pity. I pity the pensioners, but I think they deserve the treatment. The teacher. AKP. All right. 95.1 FM.
Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, please, I'm Chima. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
You're welcome, Chima.
Yes, you see, I want to contribute on these teachers. Please, I am appealing to the government. The human beings are what matter. Any other project, it is the human being that will use them. We commend him for all the things he has been doing. It's just like the pensioners. They are similar things. I don't know why our governor, I don't know whether he's not sympathetic with human beings. He's very hard in payment. He doesn't want to spend money to pay people. That is only his fault. But I think God, let us pray for him. God will save him so that God will sustain his mind so that he knows about that. He's having to create out money for people that is meant for people. That is his drawback. So let him try. I beg. We beg him. He's our man. Let him mellow down for that. Whatever people have done to him, he should temper justice with mercy. Please do that so that these people will not be suffering. We cannot be begging our knees. Let us stand on our feet because these people are educated people. Why are they making educated people to be suffering, to become like a peasant people, to be being on the road? People who are educated. Is that? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. 95.1 FM.
Yeah, good evening.
You're welcome.
Yeah, my name is Honorable Christian Peace. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
You're welcome.
Yeah, let me talk about these NSPAS people that they're closing the account. And now the government have asked them to unclose it. Have they found them guilty? You see one thing that you see at times when you see somebody, not that you don't want to help, but because of the law that is in the Nigeria, in this country, will make you not to help anybody. With this thing now that they are doing, if you see somebody with a gunshot on the road, I don't think that you help that person, because if you help that person and treat that person, the Nigerian government will come after you. They will charge you terrorism, because you help people. What did those people did? They provide food and other things to people that are protesting and other things. Is it the reason why they close the account? That's one thing. Nobody see anything is good in Nigeria and put himself into that kind of thing. Now, have they found them guilty? That's what they are using to buy time. Not that they don't know what happened.
The federal government did whatever they did in that lake. See what they are doing. Now they are exposed themselves on freeze the account. What is the people crying?
All right, Chris. Okay.
It's not good, though.
Okay. It's not good. Federal government and CBN should hear. Well, it's time for us to close the curtains here in the show. The platform has been a production of our news department put together by Funayo Bema and Dukwe. Do not forget to take responsibility. Wash your hands frequently with soap and running water and avoid touching your face and high contact surfaces to prevent the spread of COVID-19. I am Wealth Wilson. The platform will be back tomorrow, same time. Until then, do stay tuned. Waiting They Happen comes up next.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.